I'm ready. I got my M&Ms. I got my energy drink.
You know what's
I'm ready to go.
You know what? A nice cup of coffee and some peanut M&M or peanut butter M&Ms. That's just the perfect mix.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't have Jameson tonight, so I'm keeping it old school. And
I have some here. You want me to bring it over? I can take one in honor of you.
That's nice, but I think it might be a little bit of a drive for you. So, but no, I'm keeping it classic. I'm just going. I rated my kids orange juice and that and some Tito's.
Oh, okay.
Nice. Yeah, I'm waiting for my tea to finish, and then I'll be ready to rock and roll.
All right, cool. No intro skit, Kingsley. You don't have to worry about a script. We're done with the intro skit.
I'm fine with that. I mean,
so are we.
Guardian down.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 8 of Guardian Downcast. We are three dads that talk about anything in the Destiny universe. We also dabble a little bit in gaming and entertainment as well. I'm your host, the Gatr, and Hazel and Easy are here also. What's up, guys?
Hey, good evening.
Hey.
All right, well, to start things off, I wanted to introduce our guest of the show. He's the co-host of the Guardian Hub podcast, and I gotta admit, a great raid sherpa, Kingsleymac. How you doing tonight, Kingsley?
Oh, I'm great, and I'm glad to be here. It's fun being on other podcasts. Thanks very much for having me.
Yeah, it's nice being on the shoe on the other foot, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Excellent. Well, just to give an overview of tonight's show, we're going to get to know Kingsleymac's story. Then we'll test Kingsleymac's fast thinking with our special fast fire session we call the speed run. Just a PSA, especially to Mitchie slaps out there. My mic issues hopefully have been fixed and there's no more cutouts. So I wanted to just mention to our past guests that didn't really get a fair shake that we're going to figure out a fix for that. We'll have like an episode where we'll just have a speed run episode where everyone will have a shot to get their real score up there. So don't worry, don't fret. I know Fudd, JC Jesse, and Admiral Nips are just livid right now. They're probably seething in anger. No, I'm just kidding. Just wanted to address that here before we got into the show. We're also going to catch up on the past week. Hazel's going to talk about the latest news from Bungie, including that latest quality of life patch that we got last week. And then finally, we'll answer any Twitter or Discord questions from our community and add 2 songs each from everyone here for our Guardian Downcast Spotify playlist. So let's get started. Okay, we need to find out about this guy. So I'm going to ask the first question, guys. Who is Kingsleymac?
Ooh, who's Kingsleymac? Yeah, see, and Kingsleymac is a slightly newer name for me, but he was a guy that loves video games, right? Like all of us.
Right.
I live in Utah, and I feel like not a lot of people live in my area, so I'm always playing with the East Coast people. But I've been enjoying video games. I grew up in Southern California. Actually, let's back up. I lived in the warmth of Southern California and close to Disneyland as a kid.
Oh, really? Hey, let me stop you right there. Whereabouts did you grow up? My wife grew up in close to Anaheim, which was she lived right across the street from Disneyland. It was an interesting place. How she describes it. It's not Disneyland right outside of Disneyland.
Sure. No, I'd love to talk about this. I didn't necessarily. I'll be brief, but I didn't necessarily want to bring it up in case I'd bore you guys, but okay. I lived about 15 minutes north of Disneyland, north of Anaheim.
Okay. Right.
And we went all the time. In fact, just when I graduated high school, I got a job at Disneyland because it was a great place to get a job. Everyone who kind of you're in finish high school and college, it's like a perfect place to work because they need 20,000 total employees during the summer months. Shit. So a lot of people can get a job there.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. So I enjoy Disneyland a lot. And you're right. Like Disneyland's a very contained thing, the way they built it. I mean, it used to be orange groves when they built it, but the way the city was plotted, it was they let just normal industrial, retail, hotels build up all around it. So they did a really good job of when you're inside of Disneyland, you don't see any of that. you're totally in it. But the second you get out, you're like, oh, it's just like a normal city, nothing special. Some areas even like 5 minutes away can get a little bit seedy. But
well, that's what I was talking about. My wife said that there's some really like not so safe areas.
Yeah,
very close.
Very true. It's very true. Yeah. But yeah, I grew up there. Nice warm climate, and always into video games since I was a kid. I remember my first console. Well, actually, let's back up. First console my dad got was probably ColecoVision. Everyone remember the ColecoVision?
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Along with the Commodore and the Atari and all that.
Yeah. That was my second system.
Yeah. So he got a ColecoVision. I remember playing Donkey Kong on there, some James Bond games. Had a lot of fun. But really, what I consider my first system was I got an NES, which was kind of like mine. The ColecoVision was, I guess, probably like considered my dad's. And NES, I just started playing Super Mario Brothers, 1, 2, 3, Zelda, all those games, and just went hard on the NES. Had a lot of fun. Mike Tyson.
Punch Out.
Pretty much
Super Punch Out.
Yeah, every game you can think of on the NES.
My God.
I remember like friends coming over, just playing video games all afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, this is fun. I mean, of course, before that we had the arcades too, right? I mean, I would go to the arcades, throw in the quarters, and
you mean your paycheck? That's what I did.
Yeah. My grandmother would have a jar of quarters. So that'd be the main time I'd go to the arcade. I'd stay the night, and we'd go to the pizza joint. Remember, pizza joints were like a common place to have arcades.
Right.
Oh, nice.
It's like CC's Pizza.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, so it'd be so fun just playing like I don't know what the games were, like Tron or Cubert or Pac-Man.
God, bringing back memories. Lots of memories.
Yeah, so it's funny. I was trying to explain that to my 8-year-old son the other day, and I said the word mall, and and he looked at me like, what's a mall? Like, we've probably got 3 malls in Dallas. Everything has kind of built into these outdoor shopping areas where it's still kind of like a mall, but there's no roof and there's no Hastings and all that stuff. It's a different vibe. But yeah, we used to go into the mall and play. There was arcades at like every single mall, and that's where we would hang out.
Yeah, like a whole arcade area in the mall, or like like an arcade place. I mean, now you can kind of get that some places. Like, do you guys have like Dave and Buster's or anything like that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we've got a bunch of those.
But, so those are still pretty cool.
It's not the same. It's not the same as the 80s, man.
No. Yeah, because now you got to slap those annoying cards, right?
Yeah. Well, not only that, but most of the video games now aren't real video games. It's the stupid claw machines where you're trying to get a prize out of trying to get the fluffy animal. There's so much of that garbage in there now. There's hardly any really good video games anymore.
Or
it's all about those tickets.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want to dance. I want to sit on my lazy butt and play.
Yeah, I want to be enveloped in the Star Wars, fighter and shoot stuff.
Yeah. Oh man, so true. Yeah, I just grew up with video games, and I don't remember all the systems I had, although I do remember having some unique ones when it was kind of like Nintendo versus Sega. We never got any Segas, but I even went more unique. I had Nintendos, and I don't know I think I had a Super Nintendo, but very quickly, for whatever reason, I switched off to the really unique, the TurboGrafx and the Turbo.
Oh yeah, there was a volleyball game on that TurboGrafx. Like, it was like country versus country, and I played that game like crazy. It was insane.
Yeah, I don't even remember now what games, because they didn't seem like they had a lot of what you would call like the super popular games that you would remember.
AAA titles.
Yeah,
there was Splatterhouse
or the Marios.
Oh yeah, Splatterhouse. Right.
Splatterhouse was the shit.
I think I remember that.
And it might have had Spy Hunter on it as well.
But I even had like the Turbo. I don't forget what they called it. Turbo Duo. It was like their 64-bit like up and coming thing. There was like really good graphics, and it could do CDs. It was like some of the first systems that were having like CD based games. I mean DVD, whatever, based games. And then by then I was, graduating high school, getting to college and stuff. And then, like many people, I kind of fell away from video games for a bit. I did a little bit of computer gaming, like Diablo, PC gaming, stuff like that, but nothing super hardcore, no consoles for a while. And then I got back into it. I got a PS2. I never got a original PlayStation, but I got a PS2. And then I got a PS3 not on launch day, but shortly after. And then PS4 I did get on launch day. And my gaming style before, because obviously we'll probably talk Destiny, but has always been Not so much the sports games, not so much the first-person shooter games, but definitely the exploration games. Like I really liked Assassin's Creed and Tomb Raider and Uncharted and.
We don't say the AC word here.
Oh, we'll say it. I love Assassin's Creed.
You can say it all you want.
Oh God,
you're home. Kingsley, you're home. Come on in. Come through the door.
As in the great words of Hazel, for fuck's sake.
Oh man, but I really liked all those games a lot. So,
did you play No Man's Sky?
No, I've never even. Yeah, I'm curious. I do want to try it. But,
I was curious about the exploration thing and that. I mean, that seems like would be perfect for you. Yeah. I've never played it myself, but
no, I haven't played that one, and probably because just Destiny. I don't have a lot of other games I play now besides Destiny, other than maybe Assassin's Creed, maybe Borderlands. But any Assassin's Creed game that comes out, I'll get. But it's pretty much just Destiny. You know how it is.
Kingsley,
I just heard Easy Fall in Love.
Kingsley, I thought I liked you, man. I thought I liked you. Jeez, I don't know. I'm having second thoughts.
Okay, we can just talk about Destiny then.
I'm just kidding. I'm just giving you a hard time. I've played Assassin's Creed. It's a fun game.
Dude, the latest one's really good. They're making it better all the time, and Assassin's Creed has true transmogrification, which I wish Destiny would be getting instead of just some ornaments you can put on.
Right. And I heard the latest Assassin's Creed, isn't it about mythic heroes and stuff? I like that
all
stuff.
Greece and,
I like that kind of stuff.
Never mind, Easy has explained it to you like 4 episodes.
I know, but I wasn't paying attention. I was daydreaming. I was daydreaming about hunters getting shot in a crucible.
There you go.
I'm just kidding.
Hey, King. So, what do you do? If you don't mind, generally, kind of, how do you make ends meet?
I beg on the street. No.
Hey, good for you.
I'm pretty lucky. I run my own business. I started that in the year 2004. I never thought I would, but there was an opportunity where another business was getting out of doing it. So they were looking for someone to kind of take over. So I didn't have to start from scratch. So I'm in the computer industry. Very specifically, I am what's known as a certified Apple consultant. So that means I do anything from go into large companies and train their IT on advanced Apple issues that they don't know how to deal with, all the way down to I can be like an outsourced support guy for a small business that doesn't need an IT guy, and they just call me in when they need help.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So it does add some flexibility at times. Like, I run my own business as long as I can make it work. I can take days off, like October 1st, I'll be planning on it. But at the same time, in a way, if I get an emergency, I kind of have to step away and it's even more important for me to deal with it than if you worked for a big company. You have a day off, you get to generally keep that day off.
Right.
But, if you run your own business, sometimes you got to still go to emergencies.
Yeah, that's the only thing that sucks, because you can set your own hours pretty much. I mean, you can schedule your week ahead of time, at least I can. But there's times when someone calls and they have a problem and you're like, well, crap, I wanted to do this today, but I guess I'm not. Yeah,
it's nice, but all in all, I prefer it over working for someone. But it's not for everyone. I know people that have tried it and then they're like, oh, I just don't like the instability of it. It's been very stable for me, luckily, especially being in the computer industry. I haven't grown like crazy. That's why I don't like sales. It can be feast or famine. But in support business, for me, it's always been very stable, maybe like a 2 to 5% growth year over year. I'm perfectly happy with that.
Is it route work, or is it you just have people on retainer that retain you, or
a little bit both? I try to. I think I'm over 50% of people on retainer and monthly plans, which is always helpful. So you can kind of just feel comfortable with that steady money coming in, and then the rest is what we'd call one-off work or time and materials. And I have hundreds of clients from over the years that have used me for whatever, and then on any given day they might call up and say, I need help with this, and it's just a one-off job then.
Very cool.
That's awesome, man.
Cool. Yeah, I like it a lot. Been doing it since 2004 and still doing it.
So what got you into Destiny?
Ooh, yeah, Destiny. So the interesting thing about Destiny, I've always known about the company Bungie. I mean, they made games for the Mac a long time ago. It was their very first games that they came out with, like Myth, and I forget the name of the other game. But they were a very small studio for a long time. And then, of course, they made the Halo games. And I never had an Xbox. I only knew Halo was like the first-person shooter aspect, and I was never really into first-person shooter games, and I didn't know it had a cool campaign also. So I knew about Bungie, I knew about Halo, and then I heard about Destiny coming out. But I wasn't immediately interested in it. I didn't know what it was. When I'd see the artwork for it, like in Game Informer magazine or whatever, I'm like, whatever. This alone, I can't tell that I like it. And you see those things, you should know better. Like a game doesn't necessarily look anything like what they will show in a magazine. I just wasn't interested in Destiny. So unfortunately, I wasn't a day one player. Christmas of 2015, my wife goes to Best Buy because she was looking for a video game for me, and she asks the sales guy, what do you recommend? And the sales guy said, well, maybe Destiny. They came out with an expansion recently. You can get this pack that has everything together. He might like that. So she gave it to me for Christmas. I didn't even pop it in for quite a while. I think it was February, because maybe I was playing some other games, finishing them up. So it was February. After that, I pop it in, and immediately I'm like, whoa, what is this game? Why did I not play this sooner? I was immediately hooked. I loved the game, and from there I haven't looked back. I mean, there's so much I can tell you, of course, but that February after Taken King, a lot of times people call it the Taken Spring. I remember very vividly, like I started playing it in February, and I kind of finished everything by March, April, and that was right when that April update that came out. Do you remember? That's when they finally added 1-to-1 infusion.
Oh yeah.
Luckily, I only had to deal with it for about a month or two of not that.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay, this is cool. I didn't have much to infuse anyways, but I'm like, this is cool, because I knew the game at least enough at that point.
Well,
so that was kind of right when I started.
Taking King was the kind of the changing of the guard for me, because that's not the right term, but it was where it really became more of a strategic game, because it was not about being level 29 forever and about completing something at a certain level to get the gear, to get your final gear to be level 30, but it was all about the light. They brought that light system in, and that just totally changed everything. I had friends who were about to quit Destiny, but when that came out, they were like, oh my God, this is so fun. I can figure out how to configure my light and get my light levels up. Yeah, Taken King, that was a big turning point for Destiny.
So I'm glad I started then, although I would like to think if I had started day one, I would have liked it also and stuck with it. But no, I'm not a day one or a beta player or anything like that, but definitely have hit it hard since I have been in it.
So how'd you find the community?
Yeah,
there are actually this community. I know the more that I've done the podcast, I'm learning about more and more other podcasts and other little discords and whatnot. And it seems like the branches go on forever. So, kind of, how did you wrap yourself in this community?
Well, on this community, but I would like to state real quick, like how I started getting into communities at all. I'm glad I did, because I tend to be an introvert player, and we can get into more of this later, but what really got me into communities at all is because I saw about this thing called a raid, and I found out you couldn't do it on your own, and there was no auto matchmaking like strikes. I'm like, I got to find people to play with. And so I found Destiny Reset first, way back in the day. I started listening to podcasts. I joined their community, and from there on, I joined a lot of other communities.
Yeah, the Derp fam.
Yeah.
Nice.
As far as like how I found your community, I mean, these days I'm just like, I have a lot of, friends and connections, and I hear about like, because I really like to keep track of this, but I hear, I heard you guys had a new podcast going. I forget from who. I think it was maybe even Elmer Fudd, and then just added you guys into, my list of communities. So
I remember you were one of the first people to embrace us. I mean, I never forget things like that. You were right in our Discord, welcoming us. You even had a PDF showing all the other Destiny Discords on like a doc, a Google Doc. And
I'm really big about that. I like to keep a list, and anyone who starts a new Destiny podcast, that's kind of the thing that I really enjoy, is talking to them and getting to know them.
Well,
and you have the website too.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
DestinyPodcasts.com. Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Track of all the Destiny podcasts out there.
Well, what's up with the gamer tag, dude?
My gamer tag was originally, for the longest time, actually MC Kingsley. Some people know me that way. They still remember me that way. Not original, just one of those things. It was just kind of like JC Jesse. It was just my initials. Mike. So it was just my initials, my first name, my middle name, and middle initial, and my last name.
Gotcha.
And, being on the internet from early days, I always loved technology, and I was in internet even in the 90s, mid 90s. And you had to start coming up with usernames. And so a lot of people's like, well, you don't want to do a first name and a last name because that might give away too much information. So someone recommended just doing like your first initial and last name, but I'm like, oh, that's too common. M. Kingsley is going to be taken, so I just decided to do first initial, middle initial, and then for whatever reason, I just started doing that everywhere on message boards. And then when I created my first gamer tags, I just did MC Kingsley. Here's the thing, though. When people, some names you see and it makes sense, like JC Jesse, but when you see MC Kingsley, everyone just starts saying McKingsley instead. So I'm fine with that, whatever. But, I was just trying to think over the years, like, do I really want to keep this forever? And people who know me know that I guess I'd slightly prefer to go by MC Kingsley, or that's what it originally was. But people who really knew me just would call me Kingsley anyways, and I preferred that the most. So when Sony finally announced changed names, and I was in the beta, by the way, I changed it in the first group of people before it went public because I was that excited about it. And so okay, I want to do Kingsley because people just call me Kingsley anyways, but Kingsley alone was already taken, so Kingsleymac is just also my business marketing, so just went with that.
Cool.
Nice. How did you meet Sin?
Yeah, so that is a little funny. Like, I don't know if we can exactly remember when we first met. We were just kind of playing together in raids, and we were both in Destiny Reset. And I really remember at the end of Destiny 1, we were doing a lot of Wrath of the Machine raids together. So we were just kind of like, teaming up on that a lot. And then I invited Sin to some other Discords that I was pretty big in for a while. And so, yeah, I can't say like I remember exactly, but just we would play together a lot and good friends, and our style would work together with like how much we like to raid and do other things.
Very
nice.
Cool. Very cool. I listened to your past episode. Well, I listened to your past episode, but the one before that was with your wife. I think her name was Startian. Can you how did she come up with that name? I'm just curious.
Oh, well, gosh, I should have been prepared. She told me.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I kind of sprung that one on you.
Okay. Because she just recently changed that also.
That's right. That's right.
Her full name,
Yep.
Stacey Armstrong,
Right.
and
I got you.
And it was something like she had that as a gamer tag for a long time herself, and so she kind of just went back to it. She likes the word star, and I think the TN was part of some initials or something. Yeah.
Oh, I was going to say Dragon Ball Z.
Dang it! I won the bet. You owe me $10.
See, now I feel silly. I should know this.
No, Hazel thought it was from that. Was from Dragon Ball Z, and I was like, oh, damn it! Then I owe him $10.
I never played Dragon Ball Z, but now I'm a bad husband. I need to. She loved that show a lot, but it was a little. I think I was a little old for too old for Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, me too.
She's younger than me a bit, so.
I got you. Yeah, I listened to that episode. Did gaming bring you guys together, or how did you guys meet?
No, actually, we are fairly recently married.
Okay.
She's a second marriage for me, but I've known her since 2014. And we actually got married in 2015. We just met through some mutual friends, acquaintances, stuff like that. But I knew pretty early on that she was into gaming also, and nowhere near like what I'm into with gaming. But she likes, right now, it's like she's more into like the mobile games, whatever she can play on her phone. But there's times where she will get hardcore into games. Like, boy, when she gets into games, like I'll even get bored. She'll like 100% like Mario on the Switch or Zelda or something like that, and I'll play it like, this is fun, but like it's getting a little bit long. Can I just finish the campaign and move on to something else?
Wow, that's pretty cool. Cool. Well, hey, I got two more questions for you. What's Sin really like?
He of all people, what you see is what you get. So I'm pretty sure you know what Sin is. I mean, he is fun. He is boisterous.
He's got that silky smooth radio voice, man.
Silky smooth voice. He likes to shout out little sayings here and there. So a good co-host for me, because I can sometimes be a little more reserved, a little more quiet. So that's why Sin's a good
nice
match there.
Well, my final question, and Hazel, if you have one, you can ask after if you need to. Tell us about your podcast, The Guardian Hub.
Yeah. Thanks. So I've been in a couple podcasts, one other podcast a little bit in the past. I done a couple tech podcasts here and there just as a guest, ongoing guest, and then also I thought about maybe doing a Destiny podcast, but I didn't know if there was a need for it. And this was even back a couple years ago. I'm like, is there too many Destiny podcasts? And all I was really listening to back then was Destiny Reset.
Yeah, I still listen to that too.
Yeah. But the clan I was in, and Discord at the time, and they're still around and still podcasting. Shout out to Hoot Dog. I don't know if any of you know Hoot Dog Radio.
I know them.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Well, anyways, they started a podcast shortly right when Destiny 2 was starting.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh, that's awesome, guys. You beat me to the punch. I would have loved to, be a co-host on it. But they're like, oh, no, we'll have you on as guest at times. So I was a many-time guest on that show, just at various points. And so was Sin, actually. He was even a scheduled main co-host. And they went through some changes, and they've revamped now and started up again with Clear Knight and Rob, the great guys over there. I was just thinking one day, when they were having a down period, I'm like, do I want to start my own thing? I don't want to compete with anyone, but I've always been wanting to do a Destiny podcast. And I'm like, I'm just gonna go for it. And I asked Sin, and had to pay him a lot of money, but no, pretty much. I don't know if I'm trying to remember if he was like skeptical at first or whatever, but like he was like, oh yeah, I'm interested. And I'm like, you know what? Even though there was a lot of Destiny podcasts, this was still when some were shutting down, like Crucible Radio. It was the first group of shutdowns. It wasn't like the newer ones, like Distinguished Gentlemen or AMP or anything, but it was Crucible Radio and Destiny Ghost Stories and a couple other ones that were like shut down. Like,
the Guardian Radio. That was a big one.
Yeah, a bunch of those. And so I'm like, it doesn't even matter if there's gonna go. Like, I'm not expecting anything. This is more cathartic for me too. I want to talk about Destiny because I love the game so much. I saw that for me, even in Destiny's downtimes, I still enjoy the game. So I'm like, I'm just going to go for it.
I think we're both on the same page. I mean, I can't speak for these guys, but that's the reason I do it. I'm selfish. I like to know more about people, and this is my excuse to do it. So, because you game with people all the time. You don't know their background. You don't know anything about them, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it so far. So,
thanks.
Yeah. Hazel, you got any questions? Easy? Anybody?
No, all good. We are hoping that you can stick around for the rest of the show and kind of BS with us.
Let's do it.
Sounds good. Well, thanks again, Kingsley. We appreciate it. And we are going to go straight to the speed run right after this. Okay. We're doing a little bit differently tonight. We are going to do the speed run right after the interview. We've already been asking questions to our guests, so let's just keep rolling, right? Let's try to get to know more about our guest here. So this segment, like I said, is called the speed run. We have a database of 66 randomly asked questions. You have 60 seconds to answer as many as you can. Please keep these short, 1 or 2 word answers, and we're going to keep track of how many questions you answered. There's no order. There's no memorization. Just quickly, whatever comes to mind, answer it. And at the end of the year, the guest with the most questions answered will win a prize. And it will be sweet. So tonight, I'm going to ask the questions.
Energy drink ready.
You ready? Get a good gulp. Get a good gulp down.
Is your energy drink gonna?
Is your heart racing? All right. Well, I'm going to ask the questions randomly from the list. Easy, you're on the time clock tonight, and Hazel, you're our quality control assistant.
Yes, sir.
All right. So without further ado, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Name one possession you cannot live without.
My computer.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Who is your favorite actor?
Emily Blunt.
Okay, that's good. Ikora, Cade, or Zavala?
Ikora.
Drifter, is he evil? Yes or no?
Yes.
What was your first video game?
Donkey Kong.
What is your favorite Destiny 2 subclass?
Void. Warlock.
Well, you answered that question. I was going to ask it. Warlock, Titan, or Hunter?
Warlock.
Are you a morning person or a night owl?
Night owl.
What is your best weapon of Destiny 2?
Ooh, I would say Outbreak.
Who is your favorite musician?
Let's say 311.
Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Rock, paper, or scissors? Oh, wow.
No, let him answer.
Rock, paper, or scissors?
Rock.
Okay. That'll do it.
Nice. Great job.
I stumbled.
For the actor.
No, I know. It gets everybody. That and your favorite musician usually gets people too. Or your first video game. I got Skull really bad. Skull was totally stumped on that one. Yeah.
And can I say, well, I mean, they're truthful answers, but to do well here, you don't have to necessarily
there's no right answer.
Whole life and say
no,
this is the best answer I'll ever give.
There's no right answer.
Enough answer, right?
No. There are wrong answers. If you don't answer it right,
it has to be in context. Yes, it has to be. I mean, if I say what's your favorite band and you say no, then that's not going to count. But
so how did I do? Did I do it?
All right. Let's go.
Strokes.
Yeah, exactly. Were you in a band? The Strokes. We love you, JC. We love you, man. Hey,
serious about that too.
No, he didn't hear half the question. That was the problem. Hazel, what do we got, man?
I got 13.
Oh, and no cutout, right? 13. That means you were tied with Admiral Nips, Mr. Elmer Fudd, and Mr. JC Jesse. You're in a 4-way tie.
Well, I mostly care if I beat Fudd, but
oh, you know what? And because I cut out with them, I got to give them a rematch somehow. So,
yeah.
But you know what? They still got to answer the questions in 60 seconds. So you could very well still be tied. And if it does come down to a tie at the end of the year, we are gonna do a randomizer, and you'll just be in a drawing then for a prize. So.
Well, I'm glad at least I'm hanging it with the best. So.
Oh man, yeah, you're in good company.
Kingsley, I think you're the only legit 13.
I was just gonna say, we didn't have to give them any gimmies tonight. That was a solid 13, dude. Good job.
It's a miracle. We heard each other.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. Good job. All right, well, let's move on to our next segment.
Status report. Exodus Black. Superstructure integrity, 17%. Data store integrity, 38%. Power core integrity, 89%. Failsafe AI core protocol integrity. And status report.
All right. Well, it's that time of the week. We are going to ask around the table here what we've been watching this week. Kingsley, you're our guest of honor. You're first.
Okay, well, I have to add to the discussion. I did finish it a week ago, and I know you guys finished it too, but just because I've been enjoying it, also finished The Boys, so can add on one more week to this discussion.
Very nice. Very nice.
So what did you think? What is your overall
I liked it a lot.
thoughts about it?
The ending, to me, I expected to see his long lost lady. I can't remember the characters, but at the very end. But like, what I didn't expect was, him, the superhero guy. Gosh, what's his name now?
Highlander. Is it Highlander?
Not Highlander.
No, what is it? Not Highlander. Homelander. That's right.
Which, by the way,
there can only be one.
Why am I flooding with name? Anyways, didn't expect him. I kind of expected Elizabeth Shue to die, but I didn't expect it to happen that way. To me, that was a better surprise than
the actual ending.
That was brutal. Yeah, that was brutal.
Him killing her like that. Now, you guys have said you're not sure how bad Homelander is, but to me, Homelander, he is a evil guy. So even when the show shows him maybe doing something kind of okay or nice, to me, I'll see it as like a ulterior motive. I think deep down he has issues, and I enjoy that though. I hope they go with that even more. It's like it's one of those like, ooh, that's like, oh, I don't want to see that. He's such a bad guy, but show me more,
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny because the Aquaman guy, we all hate him at the very beginning, but then you almost get to a point where you feel sorry for him at the end. Like, maybe he's not such a bad guy.
Yeah. That's true. He's
just a quirky guy.
I like the fact that he is that they all make fun of him.
Yeah. He doesn't belong. They all make fun of him. He's just trying to like find a place for him, trying to gain power himself. So that's of course what he does. He does at the very beginning. And of course we don't know hardly anything about the Black Noir, and I didn't read any spoilers, but I'm sure we're going to find out more about him.
Yeah, I have a feeling we are.
Yeah, so it was a really good show. I enjoyed it a lot. I mean, you guys were recommending it, other people were too. So, and I talked my wife into watching with me. She enjoyed it a lot, and we had a fun time.
Are you a superhero fan outside of The Boys, or was just kind of
not as much? I mean, I enjoyed it. I've been watching 75% of the Marvel movies, and there's a few I've skipped here and there or get behind on, but I'm not like, I got to see it day one it comes out. But that's why I was kind of excited about this one, because I obviously really enjoy Deadpool. I really enjoy kind of like the wacky ones, so that's why I knew I would enjoy this one also.
Very cool.
Very nice.
One thing that I was kind of going back to this last week, though, I don't watch too much TV, but the other thing I've been watching is I used to really be into like reality TV shows, and I kind of in my season again of watching. You guys know Big Brother at all? Like Survivor.
Yeah,
and Big
yeah,
Brother.
Yeah.
And me and my wife like Big Brother, and so we're just kind of watching it this summer, and it's really good this year. So kind of got back into that. I used to be the hugest Survivor fan.
Yeah, me too.
Watch that religiously, but kind of dropped off with gaming and other things, and haven't watched the last couple of years that much. But Big Brother's one that I tend to still get into, so we've been having a lot of fun watching that too.
Cool. Very nice.
I'll go ahead and go. So I actually took a page out of J.C. Jesse's book, and I started Carnival Row.
Oh, nice.
That show that he was talking about last week. And we've only gotten through episode 1. Like I said, football has kicked off, and that's just my life right now. But Carnival Row, I am... So production values through the roof. It's amazing. I think the backdrop, it's fantasy. It's there's a lot of great stuff there. They're tying it in with reality. There's a lot of miscommunication, and I mean, I wouldn't call like Jesse said, it's not like racism or sexism, but it's like there are different species look down on each other and hold themselves non accountable for what they do and say and this, that, and the other. But it's a great watch so far. The story itself, I'm struggling with a little bit. It's a little slow, but I have a feeling with it's got like top tier actors, right? It's got Orlando Bloom, and it's got girl from
Cara Delevingne.
Yeah, her.
Yeah.
And it's I think it's gonna pan out to be pretty good. I'm excited about it. But that for me, that's pretty much all I watched besides Texas lose to LSU, which was enough to make me not want
to get used to it, buddy.
For a week.
I'll go next. I'll let Hazel finish up on this one. I tell you, it's been a light week for me on movies because this is one of those weeks where there's not a whole lot of new releases. But I did see It Chapter 2. And I got to do my tomato meter report for Jay, aka Geardad. 63% critic, 80% audience. And Jay, I'm talking to you. I think this is pretty accurate, bud. I thought this one was...
Hey, Jay, by the way.
Yeah, hey, Jay. I thought this one was better than the first movie, mainly because it involves the grown-up versions of the kids from the first movie. They come back and have to deal with it. And the cast was stellar. Oh, my gosh. Jessica Chastain, James McAvoy, Bill Hader, they're all in the movie. They carry the movie very well. And I think as of this recording, it's grossed $92 million so far. If you saw the first one and you're like, well, it was kind of okay, definitely see this one because it kind of puts everything into perspective from the first movie, and it kind of answers a lot of the questions that maybe you didn't kind of get from the first movie. So, yeah, definitely do that. But it's been a light TV week. They're in the finals on America's Got Talent, so that starts next week. I'll speak to that when it comes around. So, Hazel?
I loved It Chapter 1 because I was a big It fan.
Mm-hmm.
By big It fan, I mean that clown scared the shit out of me. Since I've watched the original It with Tim Curry. I don't know why, but I just had to watch Chapter 1. I guess just to, traumatize myself for some reason. So I was watching it, and I love the way they make little plays on things from, like, the original It. Like, hey, it's that scene from the original. And then they make a little twist to it that makes it just phenomenal. Now, I don't know if you saw that, Gatr. Did you ever see the Tim Curry one?
No, but in fact, my wife read the book, and she said the book's much scarier. She says it was one of the most scary books of all the Stephen King novels she read. It was the one that really messed her up.
Yeah, I read that. Yeah. Clowns are scary. PSA. So yeah, I plan on actually watching it probably this weekend. So I'll give that report next week. For me, it's just the same things I've been watching previously. The Affair, The Handmaid's Tale. I'll be honest and say younger. So yeah, I'm still watching that with my wife. It's one of those things that's really got its hooks in me. So yeah, and that's pretty much everything I've been watching besides football too. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
So PSA here too. I know nothing about It. Like, I don't know the story. All I know is it looks scary as hell, and there's no way I'm watching that crap.
I've
never watched any of them. I'm sure it's an excellent story there, but it looks like it'll just make you like lay in bed at night and just kind of like
I don't know. Okay, here, I'll give you a perspective. I'm not a big horror movie guy, and I didn't think it was that scary. I mean, when the teeth come out and he bites into kids and children, that kind of freaked me out a little bit. Especially as a girl in the movie that gets it.
That's
but
not that scary. Come on.
It's all right, but that part, yeah, okay, it got my attention. But
is he like a demon or
he's the devil? He's the devil incarnate. I mean, pretty much. Wouldn't you agree, Hazel?
Right.
I mean, he's a demon. I mean, that's the main thing.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's a servant. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool and really well done. My wife and I, we actually went back and watched the original. She refuses to watch the new ones.
Really?
Because, yeah, completely and utterly. She hates scary movies. She's actually made me such a puss now, where I don't watch scary movies anymore. Yeah. So, yeah, like I'll try to watch some like scary movies. Like I tried to watch The Conjuring. And I'm like, why the fuck are you going in the basement? It's dark.
Yeah, no,
and
pass.
I'm like, yeah, all right, I can't watch this. So then, yeah, there's that. But she actually wanted to watch it, and we watched the original It with Tim Curry. And believe it or not, it sadly does not hold up very well because he really doesn't do anything throughout the entire movie. He just looks creepy and that. I was gonna say that just the new one is the clown actually does stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
See, and I was thinking, like, I don't know. I mean, I'm interested. You guys are mentioning this now. I don't know that it would scare me so much. Scary movies don't bother me too much, except for, the ones that got me were Paranormal Activity for some reason.
I was just, damn it, you beat me to it. I was just going to say that. I said, there's only one movie that's really messed me up, and I don't even trust my wife anymore. She goes, it's a documentary about ghosts. I'm like, okay. I went and saw it, and for a whole year, Mike, I would not stick my foot beyond the bed. It would have to be in the sheets because I knew if I sticked it out beyond the bed, I was going to get yanked away by something.
That was freaky, yeah.
Dude, that messed me up.
Watching it again, maybe I'd be scared, but I don't know.
You're reading my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, though, one of the scariest movies that I've ever seen was The Blair Witch Project because I saw it back when I saw it opening night when it was real. Yeah. Because I don't know if you remember it or not.
They tricked you and it was real. Yep. Like,
Exactly. I mean, fucking Sci-Fi put out a whole documentary.
Yeah, I saw that.
Like everything, and I watched that.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my God, it was all set up.
And I mean, I remember walking out of that movie with a friend of mine, and I was shaking.
Yeah,
we were just fucking scarred because we're like, holy shit, this actually happened.
Well, it's the last scene, Hazel. It's the last scene.
Yeah.
That's what messes you up because you're like, okay, I'm not going to sleep tonight.
Yeah, exactly. I was a mess.
So,
yeah. No, that one was pretty good. I remember. I was kind of. Yeah, I remember that whole hype too, and I think we saw it a couple weeks in, but still, there was a lot of like, yeah, it's real.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. Hey guys, let's shift gears now. Let's move on to what we were gaming this week. And again, I'm going to start with you, Kingsleymac. What were you gaming in this week?
A lot of Destiny. This week, I don't think... Oh, I did a little bit of Diablo also, just because I was having fun, but mostly Destiny. I'm looking forward to maybe Borderlands or other things. Destiny.
Yeah, Borderlands at midnight. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you did you have any goals or any titles or anything you're working toward? Or
So, this last week, not as much. The main goal that I've had, that I finished a couple weeks ago, was to get... all 50 tributes in the tribute hall.
Oh, that's right. I heard about that.
Goal.
Yeah.
I enjoyed doing that. A lot of people had goals for like pinnacle weapons or this or that. But for whatever reason, for me, I was more interested in getting.
Yeah, but that emote is badass though.
It is, and I knew it was something that I could do.
Yeah.
And not a lot of people were going for it. I'm kind of surprised. I've only met one other guy that I play with that has all 50. And so, I mean, I remember I was like first also to get the bad juju and first to get 45. And everyone's like, oh, it's too expensive. I'm like, well, I play a lot. I'm just dropping the money. Even after I dropped all the money and resources, I still had a lot. So I don't know what, I'm like, I'm not grinding that shit for to bring the price down. I'm just going for it,
Yeah.
But, I got that done. So that was good. And then the other goals in the game, no really goals right now other than my main always goal is just to play raids and get people interested in raids. So
yeah,
nice.
You're very good at that.
I enjoy it. Yeah.
Cool.
So I laughed when you said goals for guns and you start naming off like pinnacle weapons. My 3 Destiny goals before Shadowkeep are the bar is so low for people that play all the time. But I've hit 2 of my 3. The 3 things that I wanted to snag before Shadowkeep was the Whisper, which I still don't have, the EP shotgun, which I got. You were with me, I think, when I got that.
Yeah. Congrats on that.
And I just wanted to open up all the forges and grab a blast furnace. I didn't need a great roll. I just wanted to do it because I took a very long break from Destiny. I probably took about 11-month break after Forsaken dropped. And so I was just going backwards and hanging out. But so I've completed the very first boss of Astral Chain. It's a blast. Astral Chain has a lot of Nier vibes. I don't know, Kingsleymac, if you played Nier Automata.
No.
But
I'm interested.
It's got a lot of those vibes. It's great so far. The music in it is excellent. Have any of you seen that Xbox One X Shadowkeep console that the Mixer's given away? I threw it up in the Discord. It is so good looking. If they drop that tomorrow, sadly enough, I would probably go buy it.
It's sold out.
I have an Xbox One X, and I would just go trade it in and buy that other one. I mean, it looks so good.
I think it was sold out, and Bungie saved 4 or 5 of them for that giveaway during that Mixer stream.
Oh, did they? So
yeah,
did they
it's sold out. It's sold out, dude. Or no. I'm sorry. No, my bad. This was the collector's edition that they were saving 4 or 5 of, and they were having those send those out. Sorry, go ahead.
2 other quick notes. Tokyo Game Show is this week, and they had the Final Fantasy VII remake. They had a new trailer, and then they had 15 minutes of gameplay. Dude, when that drops, I'm out. I mean, it looks so good. And then Borderlands 3 had that strange early access code. Like only a few, like the major outlets got to review it, but like Skill Up and I think like Datto, and I think there's a bunch of other guys that were going to review it that normally do some sort of review. Mm-hmm. They couldn't get codes because you had to get like an early access like profile, like an early build in the Epic store, and then they would give you this early build to log into. And most of the reviews so far are like 8 to 9s, with the exception of PC Gamer, who gave it a 63 out of 100. So I'm still waiting on the Digital Foundry tech breakdown before I decide what system I grab it on. Mm-hmm. Anyway, Hazel?
Well, speaking of Borderlands 3 and the whole review fiasco, Jason Schreier put a tweet out, or something like that. And he said that it was basically a crock of shit what they were doing, because some of them were saying like, hey, you can't use this feature or this feature. And if you did, it was like deleting the whole game and all your progress and stuff like that. So my guess is PC Gamer was probably the one that deleted everything, and they were a little, testy about it.
Oh, yeah, you could be right about that.
For me, regarding gaming, the main thing that I got done was I got Wayfarer. My first.
Very nice.
That's right. Very cool, dude. Very cool. You're saying, hey, is there anything different about my name? I'm like, no, not really. Oh yeah, okay.
I was like, looking purple, you dick. But yeah, I mean,
Hazel, I would have noticed.
Thank you, Sen. Yeah, you mean, or not Sen? I'm sorry, Kingsley.
He just dissed you, man. Wow.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's okay. You've had it. You drank down a couple.
End call.
No. A little bit. Yeah, I blame Gatr. Actually.
Oh, come on! What did I do?
Yeah. You'll all hear about what Gatr did.
Okay.
So yeah, I got Wayfarer, and then I helped Easy open the Forge, and that was a blast. I mean, we're gonna start streaming that shit because we had so much fun.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. They love watching me struggle and like flounder around.
It's like watching a baby. It is.
Yeah. I'm lost, guys. Where are you?
Bring you through a raid and not tell you what to do.
Oh, don't. Yeah. Oh, God, that would be hilarious.
So I've played Destiny since the alpha, or not alpha, since the beta. So I know what's going on, but I just get frustrated fairly easy, and Hazel loves to. When I start getting frustrated, that's when he starts having a good time.
But that's what we love about you, Easy, because you have more of the casual viewpoint of the games and Destiny. I mean, all 3 of us pretty much are so dug in on Destiny that we really don't see it from perspective from someone who plays other games,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that part.
And that's all for me. I think we're done with this section, right?
Yep, nothing special for me this week. Just, I think we're good. No, it's kind of ironic that that Kingsleymac happens to be the guest tonight, and this was not planned, by the way. But the Guardian Hub community, man, they came together for the old Gatr this week. Like I mentioned in my last episode, I had to get a Scourge done and a Crown of Sorrow raid to get my 2019 title. Man, it was great. This is the first time I've gamed with you guys, and I've done my share of raids. I've got probably 55 raids under my belt, and Destiny 2 raids, and we had a schedule for a Friday night, and I needed the Scourge of the Past first, and then the Crown of Sorrow. I didn't even expect to have that done, but I said, I figured let's give it a shot, and we'll probably quit once they get tired of, get frustrated with me that I don't get the mechanics right away. And I was pleasantly surprised, though. After a few reps, on the encounters, we had some real beast players in there. I mean,
we had a good crew.
Oh, yeah.
We're not gonna get tired after. I mean, I think you saw we wouldn't be able to Sherpa other people through. Expecting them to get them. So there's those people that expect you to get it on the first or second try that are the ones that get impatient.
That's called an LFG group. Because I've been in a lot of those. And but we seemed to gel, and I was pumped. I got the Anarchy on the very first raid clear. Congrats. Oh, my God. And of course, I might have gotten a little too exuberant, and I might have mentioned some stuff in someone's stream. But,
of course, Sin had to clip it and post it everywhere.
Of course. And so, it was a little embarrassing. But, it is what it is, I was excited in the moment. So, you know what? I figured maybe this was Bungie's way of making up all those 30 runs that I had to do to get the Vex Mythoclast in Destiny 1. Maybe they said, let's give the Gatr a pass this time. So, anyway, but we're done with the Scourge of the Past. I was thanking everybody. I figured, everyone's okay, did their job. They helped the old Gatr out, and everyone's sticking around. They're like, hey, you ready to get your Crown of Sorrow done tonight also? And I'm like, what? I was floored. And they said, I've never tried to get 2 raids totally blind, by the way. Never done these raids before in one night. But, hell, I was game. I said, we started getting into Crown of Sorrow, and I've done enough raids where I kind of understood the mechanics on the first couple parts. So we kind of breezed through those areas pretty quick. We had a bunch of jumping puzzles to do, I think, before we got to that last room. And there's a first phase and a second phase for the boss in there. That's the guy with the hands you got to shoot and stuff.
Yeah, got on. Yeah.
And it was my very first time doing this race, so I went in totally blind. But long story short, we got it done at the 0 hour. I mean, we were going to give it a few more shots, and at the very end, we got it done. And I just want to give a shout out to the raid team. I was really floored. You guys were so professional about it. Of course, Sin Media and Kingsleymac, you guys were the leaders of the raid. But I also want to give a shout out to Helios77G. 8-Bit General was in there as well, and especially my raid bud. This was Mohafo. Is that how you say it, Mohafo?
Yeah, Mohafo. He's a great guy.
Mohafo. He was so class. I mean, I would frustrate the hell out of him, I'm sure, in a few of the Scourge episodes. But you know what? Me and him started working together, and all of a sudden, I gotta tell you guys, give me a few reps. Once I get the pattern down, I'll be able to sink in and get it done. And we got really lucky on that last shot. But yeah, we got it done. And I needed to get a Nightfall on Mars done. And to get that community emblem, I participated in a lot of the EP stuff, and thanks to Bytord and Dadbodlink. Dadbodlink's the greatest guy, man. He'll say, hey, I post something on Discord. He goes, yeah, I'm not doing it right now, and I don't need to do it, but I'll jump on and help you with it. And Bytord's an old friend of mine. I mean, it didn't take much to coax him in to get it done. But after that, I mean, it was just a great couple. It's been a great couple weeks for me. So I just want to say thank you again for sherping this old guy through a couple raids he hasn't done yet. And I just wanted to say thanks, because that was a really
congratulations.
It was a highlight of my week, man.
Congratulations.
No, yeah, I didn't get the exotic on the Crown of Sorrow. I didn't get that lucky, but I don't think anybody else did too. So
no, yeah, I don't know too many people about that one yet. Just real quick, what do you think of those 2 raids?
I like robots. I like shooting robots, like that big robot in the middle. I mean, everything was happening so fast. I like that. I like that encounter where you're shooting his eye at the bottom, the little servitor eye, it pops open, and shooting his knees and his shoulders and stuff. I had a lot of fun doing that, and but it was pretty fun though. And the Scourge kind of reminded me of a lair, like one of the lairs in Leviathan in the past, year 1 of Destiny. it kind of reminded me a lot like that. It was kind of a small room, and you had to get the phase 1 was, fairly easy. It's like they're warming you up, you're getting that first mechanic down, and then they throw a few more mechanics at you, and it gets a lot more crazy. But I thought they were fun. I mean, I'm a raid guy. I always love doing raids. So, all right, well, good deal, guys. Let's move on to our next segment. This week at Bungie. Okay, now Hazel is going to talk about this week at Bungie. Go ahead, Hazel. What's up?
Hey, so a couple things. Well, actually, one main thing. One of the quality of life updates from last week was the basically the condensing of all the materials down to 9,999. So for the most part, that freed up a lot of space for those of us that are consistent players, unlike Easy. Aside from that.
Yeah, that helped me out a lot. I think.
Yes.
I went from 4 stacks to not anymore. Just
one stack. Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, it was really nice. And I mean, for me, that was the main thing that happened with 2.5.2.2. Besides that, and the whole Reckoning change, but they're going to be tweaking Reckoning even more with the next update, 2.5.2.3. Hopefully, they quit this shit of they can just do like 2.6, and then I can quit fucking pounding off with
it'll be 3 numbers. It'll be 3 point something next.
FML. All right. so 2.5.2.3, they are going to make a change to Reckoning, I believe, where starting September 17th, where Reckoning will only have positive modifiers. They are removing the negative modifiers from it. So
no more blackout. Awesome.
Yeah, exactly. It'll have Brawler, Grenadier, and Heavyweight. And then sandbox changes.
Yeah.
Ooh,
everywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Gonna be
There's
fun.
Sand everywhere.
all the weapons.
Yeah. Pretty much you name a weapon, it got a buff.
Auto rifles.
Got a buff. 25 to 35% for PvE.
Very
Thank
nice.
God.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
I wish they got a PvP buff, though.
Yeah, I know. They need it.
Yeah, did we?
So
I don't even know if PvP got much.
They didn't.
Yeah,
It got a couple touches here and there, but
not much. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that the PvP touches that I remember seeing were for some of the exotics more than anything.
Yeah.
Pulse rifles, high impacts and rapids.
Yeah, the fall off, the damage fall off. Thank God, maybe people will move on from auto rifle or from pulse rifles.
But more importantly for pulse rifles, not to interrupt, is they moved up the base damage by 1. That's going to be big in Crucible. And this was across the board for archetype. It wasn't just PvP, PvE. It was PvP as well. That's going to make it a 2-tap in some circumstances. So that's going to be big for pulse rifles in Crucible.
Yeah.
Yep.
And for those of you that are freaking out about everything getting a buff, everything got a buff pretty much except for like rocket launchers and fusion rifles. And I want to say shotguns as well weren't mentioned in this
Maybe
either.
Grenade launchers too, I'm guessing.
Yeah,
we already know they're high though.
They're already strong.
But they're gonna get probably a nerf, just a touch, probably.
Time will tell, I guess.
Yeah, that's just my thought. The one buff that I'm really excited for is scout rifles in PvE, getting increased from 18% up to 36%, depending on the rank of the person you're fighting.
That's huge.
Yeah, I have a vouchsafe that's full auto and explosive rounds, and I can't wait to bring that back out.
I've got a Talons of the Eagle, which is high impact, but I've got it with Outlaw and Rampage, and I have a 10, or I have it fully Masterwork stability with a targeting adjuster mod on it, and man, I love using it, but right now it's just so weak, so I'll be really excited about bringing that out.
Yeah. Any other weapons you guys saw that you wanted to mention?
How about bows?
Yeah, bows got.
Yeah, I got the Hush.
No, I always love when I hear someone using a bow. I'm like, I should use a bow more, but
I know.
Yeah.
They're
How
fun.
much did you pay to get that hush?
I didn't pay anything. I got it myself solo queuing, by the way. Solo queuing Gambit.
I couldn't resist. Sorry.
I know. Sorry.
I'm a fucking troll. Anyway.
that is good. The bows are buffed. I may want to try that some more.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, because the only bow that I ever used was the Wishender.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just a beastly thing.
I like that heavy bow. Even I use the Wishender a lot, trying to get those. You got to get so many critical kills or headshot kills with the bow, and I'm not going to beat around the bush. It was a bitch to get. It was a lot of crap. You had to run bows so much you were tired of bows. I got the hush, and it just sits in my inventory because I'm so over bows now.
Yeah, well, it's like the Valentine's one. That's sitting, sitting there. So, yeah. Yep. Hand cannons got a PvE buff against minor enemies of 30%.
I'm excited for hand cannons when you're asking. Yeah, I used to main a hand cannon in Destiny 1. I really liked my, now I can't remember it was the palindrome that I really liked. And I had a good roll of that. And I've always wanted hand cannons to be a little more crispy in D2. And they keep saying, but with these things I'm reading, I'm hopeful they'll be a bit better.
Yeah, I'm imagining them like one tapping. I mean, because I don't know why. It doesn't seem like most hand cannons don't one tap anymore. Maybe I'm shooting the wrong enemies.
Well, no.
Are you talking about just? Are you talking about PVE? Just running around like on?
PVE.
Planets?
Well, that was the one thing they mentioned. They said minor enemies, rank and file, no longer take more precision damage than other enemies. The enemies previously took twice as much damage to their precisions hit locations than enemies of higher rank. It says you'll still deal precision damage, but this is now entirely dependent on what weapon you're using. So maybe you won't have to 2-tap them now. I hated that too, man. I know where you're coming from there.
I love hand cannons. I use hand cannons almost always, except if I'm doing something difficult.
Nice. I like that. Unless I'm doing something difficult, then I'm not using it.
Then I have a fully auto go figure that doesn't leave my side.
It's a good rifle.
Nice. Machine guns got a 25% buff for minor enemies. Pulse rifles as well. So that go figure is going to maintain its spot in Easy's arsenal there with a PvE buff of 28% against minor enemies.
So here's my question. I was going to ask earlier. So I saw the Graviton Lance is getting its own buff. Is it getting its own buff plus the buff?
No.
The pulse rifle buff?
Specialized buff. But it's still 30%.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be separate. It should be separate.
I'm sure it is. The exotics are different. When they talk about the above, it's probably for all the legendary weapons.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's fine tuning there. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then a lot of exotics are getting buffs. So Sweet Business is getting an additional 50 rounds. Increased PvE damage as well by 15%. High cal rounds. This is the buff that I can't wait. That might actually make me use Sweet Business. Previously, the damage was 13.21 and precision was 21.14. Now it went up to 15 and 21.2. So it got a nice crispy 0.06 buff to the precision damage.
Yeah, but it's being fired so fast. They're probably factoring that in. There's so many bullets coming at once. Plus, with armor-piercing rounds, that means it's like you can shoot right through enemies now in a straight line. Versus the high caliber would just make them flinch.
Armor-piercing now, yeah.
Yeah, it means you can just mow through ads, man.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm still probably never going to use it.
The one I got to call out is the Crimson. I use the Crimson in a lot of the
that's
year one. Look at the
right?
increase from 13 and 24 to 19 and 30.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I'll be using that.
Yep, I'll be a cheap bastard using that in Crucible. So yeah,
and raids.
Yeah, raids. And not to be forgotten, Sunshot. I mean, it's already, if you have the masterwork for it,
I just got it.
I mean, I got that way back originally when it was the annoying faction rallies. But really, the only detriment to it. It has a fairly good reload. The only detriment was the mag size. So now it's going up to 12. So that will be a somewhat contender.
Yeah, it was fairly slow firing as well. I found it in Crucible to be 1-on-1. Just was not.
Oh yeah, I would never use that Crucible, but
you know what?
It's pretty good in PV because of the extra damage it does. So that makes up for the firing.
You know what?
I feel like
it just dawned on me. Think of this, Kingsley. We both like the Sunshot. I'm assuming. Remember, you would try to get a headshot with a Sunshot, and it wouldn't kill him in one shot half the time.
Yeah.
Well, now they increased the rank and file crit damage. You don't have to do twice as much damage anymore. So I'm thinking that gun is going to be deadly with the explosive damage.
I hope it will apply to Sunshot too. But
we'll see.
We'll see. Yeah.
No.
It's exciting, all these weapons to try, right? There's going to be so many fun things to try.
Yeah.
And of course we'll be getting new weapons too.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. One thing that this is going to be controversial, but you know me. So Ace of Spades, Memento Mori's damage bonus is now affected by range fall off. Thank God. Sorry for you PvP guys that use Ace of Spades, but I'm tired of getting raped by it. So thank you.
That gun is. Everyone thinks I play PC on the PvP on PC as well. That gun owns people in PC. On the PC, everyone thinks they're all using what's those pinnacle weapons?
Luna.
The Luna the Lunas and Unforgottens. Those you don't see those a whole lot in PvP on a computer, on PC, because there's so much range with the Ace of Spades that owns people in a Crucible. It's meta.
They touched on some of the perks as well, so not too much in regard to perks. One cool thing I thought was Grave Robber. Now activates when getting a kill with ranged melee abilities like ball lightning and explosive knives.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, why didn't that happen in the first place?
I assumed it would.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
But you got to talk about ricochet rounds. That's what everyone's been talking about in the Discord.
Well, I think the only reason why they did this is because of the one video. I don't know if you guys saw that last week in the TWAB about a guy basically did a montage of ricochet round basically kills where you couldn't even see somebody.
Really?
It was absurd. But they removed the hidden bonus to damage fall off. So I'm guessing that there was like maybe no range fall off or something like that.
Yeah, it increased your range I think by 10 or something. It was one of those hidden perks of but everyone knew that plays PvP knew that ricochet rounds added range.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Now
Thanks
it's
to
not.
Fallout and
Now it's not. So rest in peace, ricochet rounds. We won't see you again.
Pretty much. So, was there anything else that you guys saw that was pretty interesting in this?
Well, I see, and we may still find out later on, but it doesn't look like some people were calling for a nerf on Arental fusion rifle. But I don't see it.
Don't touch my fusion rifles. Thank you very much.
But,
Yeah, fusion rifles probably aren't getting touched. I mean, it's another controversial thought is that to me they shouldn't be touched.
Mm-hmm.
They're slow firing some of the time. I mean, if you get sniped with an Arental from across the map, then you're just unlucky. I think is pretty much Bungie's opinion.
It's bad enough that shotgun damage is RNG, but it's very likely you're going to get a one-shot kill with it. You need a lot more skill, and you have to time your shots with a fusion rifle, so they should not be nerfed. I mean, anyone with a shotgun, what happens to me is when I'm using a rental, I'll be winding it up to shoot someone. They'll slide under me and shoot me with the shotgun if I can't wind it up fast enough. So I think right now it's even. It's even Steven. So leave it alone. Don't touch it, Bungie.
Well, the fusion rifles is such a risk reward.
It is.
Like a shotgun's not risk reward. You just fly in there and start and pull the trigger. But shotgun or the fusion rifle requires a little bit of patience, a little bit of strategy. But if you can use it, they are so deadly.
Now, no one's going to agree with me here, but I think they should be buffed because you take away a rental and Telesto, the other fusion rifles are all garbage. I mean, maybe the Vanguard one if it has the right rolls, but they're taking ricochet rounds away now, so there goes your range stack on anything you have ricochet rounds on. But I've tried a bunch of them from Mars, the Prolimium, I think it's called Prolinium. I tried a bunch of them, and they will not one-shot anybody to save your life unless they're right up on you. So I think they need a buff. No one's going to agree with me there, but...
No, I'm not going to agree with you. Actually, I just flicked off my screen. I know we don't have video, but yeah, I just flicked off my screen, and I'm like, no, they don't need a buff for sure.
Okay, whatever. Anybody else got anything else?
The one last thing I wanted to mention I thought was absolutely hilarious in this is I don't know how many of you guys use snipers against like minor enemies, but if you do, they're getting a 47% buff.
Give me a break. Give me a break. I'm not wasting my sniper bullet on an ad.
Exactly.
Maybe if I had Cold Heart or something, or not Cold Heart, what was the D1 sniper, you'd get your ammo back.
Icebreaker.
Icebreaker. Yeah.
Oh yeah. That was a great sniper rifle.
Yeah, then maybe I'm wasting it. I'm just
chilling
on a rooftop or something. But yeah, otherwise,
yeah.
I'm gonna use it on the spot.
Did you mention the Shadowkeep calendar, Hazel?
Oh yeah, no. So there's a Shadowkeep calendar out there that Bungie dropped today, and with it, the free seasonal updates. The part that I enjoyed was the obvious things. So like finishers coming out, armor 2.0, and this is going to be for everyone. And that's going to include 2 new strikes, the Festering Core and the Scarlet Keep.
Yes.
Some Crucible updates, which will probably, I'm thinking the reason why there's so few Crucible notes in here is basically they're going to drop that in probably next week's TWAB. They're going to basically bring back Widow's Court, Twilight Gap, a new map called Fragment. Crucible Labs will be Elimination, and then the free seasonal rank rewards. The raid will drop on 10.5, and let me see here, exotic quest called Leviathan's Breath, which I don't even know what the hell that picture is.
That's a bow. Tiny. That's that heavy bow that they were testing in the first Vidoc.
Right, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because it does not look like a bow. It looks more like a bra.
It's just like up on its side, yeah.
Festival of the Lost, 1029 to 1119.
Wow.
Yeah, and another exotic quest.
What about 1029? There's a very important thing coming on 1029.
Oh, that?
Oh, don't you dare just run over that. Yeah, me and Kingsley will run you out of town.
Yeah. I did that intentionally.
Okay.
So, they're launching a dungeon, and they're giving us advanced warning, so God knows what the hell we're going to be in for.
I cannot wait. I'm so pumped.
Yeah. This is cool. In a way, it's kind of like, it was always nice when it was a mystery and it pops out of nowhere. But then again, like, this is also cool that we know when's coming. So I'm glad this time they told us ahead of time.
I can't imagine what they're going to do because they've planned this out and everything else. So... it was great to see, the Outbreak Prime and that, and then also the Whisper mission. But, to have it set up, I guess, that they're going to do this and it's known, I'm expecting something special.
Oh, yeah. I'm glad that they're thinking about keeping the sustainability and the consistency of dungeons. It sounds like the Shattered Throne went over so well that they need to keep bringing those in for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I've just got to say, this is so refreshing. This is so unlike Bungie in the past. They have been so transparent this year too. I don't know. Kingsley, I know you weren't a Destiny 1 player. Not until Kingsfall, you were saying. But, you remember the content droughts where you wouldn't hear a thing from Bungie, and you're like, why am I still playing this game? There's nothing coming.
Even kind of like year one of D2, like we
Mm-hmm.
heard a bit like leading up to like the release, and then nothing. It was the January or February.
I think that's because they were going, oh shit, what are we gonna do? I love the transparency, and as long as they don't spoil what the dungeon's about, I'm fine with it. And I wanted to mention also, Hazel, DMG did say that a little birdie told him there might be a Bungie Vidoc coming next week. So
that wouldn't surprise me at all.
Yeah. So anything else?
Well, there's more stuff out there. So, if you guys want to see more regarding, there's 10.8, a hero and legend nightmare hunts, whatever the hell that is. So, there's some other things that we didn't touch on, but the core things are, I feel are mentioned. Iron Banner coming back 10-15.
Yes, I can't wait to see what they bring. In Destiny 1, I used to so look forward to Iron Banner because they always came out with new stuff. I was like, all right, what fusion rifle are they going to have this time, you know? Perun's Run. I still remember that fusion rifle. It was so good. In Crucible, it just melted people.
Yeah. Although the armor looks like complete and utter ass.
I don't like the armor, especially I'm being a Warlock main. What are they doing with the Warlock armor? I look like a dork half the time.
I agree. I can say a quick thing about that too. Yeah.
I mean,
are you talking about in Destiny or in personal life?
You know what, Kingsley? Let's just go. Let's me, you, and Easy just go join our own chat channel, man. We can talk. We don't need to talk to this Hazel Titan character. You know what I'm saying? Jeez.
No, I mean, come on though. I mean, that Titan looks like complete ass too.
No,
so, I mean,
you got shoulder pads. You got shiny armor all over you. We got this stupid fabric everywhere. No shine. It's terrible.
I think the hunters look the best.
Yes,
if I had to say, even though I'm not a hunter main.
Yeah.
And the Titans do look a little doofy at times, but the Warlock's just, there's nothing like the armor they had in D1 for Warlocks. There were some really cool sets in
Yeah, I threw a pic out there on Twitter to you, Gatr.
Oh, yeah?
The Wrath of the Machine.
Oh, yeah.
Cloak for the Warlock was
so
good looking. Like
and
every
Crota
color.
Yeah.
You know, and I know they've said that they're, at least Luke Smith has hinted that they're probably not going to bring back Destiny 1 stuff like I envisioned. He did tell me in a dream. He's going back on his word. But we'll see. You know what? Time will tell. We'll see if the old Gator's right, and I'll just say, hey, I told you so.
I could use another $10.
Ah, jeez. I already owe you 10, don't I?
I'll pay $20 to bring back an old raid.
Oh,
Glass, sure.
remastered. Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Well, you might get Crota with Shadowkeep.
Yeah.
I doubt it, but I bet, like, you know what I bet would be kind of cool? In one of these strikes, it might bring us through some of that zone or something, but
yeah, that would be.
I doubt we're actually getting the Crota raid back.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't.
What if that were the dungeon though?
Ooh.
Well, yeah, or that. You're right. I mean, and you know, with how cool Shattered Throne.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love the dungeons that are dark. They're going, down, kind of like how cool Vault of Glass raid is. You're going down, deeper and deeper, and that's with the moon too. So this dungeon could be amazing, like bringing us through areas we've seen before, and bringing us just deeper into the moon than we've ever been before.
Dude, you're getting me pumped.
This is like the true center, and like where the super evil is.
Yeah, definitely.
So, okay, one last question about that. How pissed off do you think the community would be if that were the dungeon?
You mean
if it were like Crota? Yeah, if it basically wasn't the Crota raid, but it led you basically back to Crota. Yeah.
Are you saying it's exclusively that, or would they tie in some new looking areas also?
Oh, I'm sure they'd be tying in new areas and things like that. And then, there's like bits and pieces of Crota in there, and then maybe it ends at Crota.
I mean, if it was a mixture, I'd be perfectly fine myself.
If I was Bungie, and I would use all assets from the past, especially if I'm gearing up for the Destiny Online coming next year. You know what I'm saying? So
Smith told you in a vision.
He did, man. I'm telling you.
Hey, Gatr, I am 100% on board with that.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for your vote of confidence. I appreciate that. All right, guys. Is that it? We got everything covered, I think.
Good to go.
Times.
Yeah, except you mentioned that dream one more time. We need another drink.
Don't we have a curse jar for that? What am I up to now? 20 cents?
Not enough.
Okay. All right, guys. Thanks for shedding the light on things there for me, Hazel. Appreciate it.
Overtime. Let's do this.
It's that favorite time of the night. The Twitter and Discord questions. Here we go. Easy, you're up.
Alrighty, fellas. So it looks like we got another round of really good questions here. So let's just get with it. Dad Bodlink. Looks like I win on the marriage link with 22 so far. We'll see if it lasts.
Well, I think I put that to bed last week.
Well, after 22, I think y'all got it knocked down. Now that you're a few episodes in, what is the best and worst part of hosting a podcast? Best part for me is just being able to, like, I look forward to doing this on Thursdays and getting a script together, and it makes me more dedicated to looking into gaming news and kind of, instead of just playing mindlessly, like actually jotting down kind of what I like, what I dislike. So it just kind of makes me more in tune with this hobby that I have. So far, we really haven't had a worse part. I mean, I think we're fairly lucky so far. I mean, besides having to deal with Hazel's BS, it's good.
Well, for me, the worst part of hosting a podcast has been just all the hardware end of it. Just learning new programs, or software, I should say. Finding out mics don't work like they say they're supposed to work. And then when you go to the editing bay, you're like, holy crap, I can barely hear myself. What the hell did I do wrong this time? So little things like that. That would be my biggest frustration.
For me, I would say that the biggest thing I would say, being brutally honest with everybody in the audience is basically just reining it in a little bit. Like 2.5 hour episodes is a long time to me for commitment from our listeners. I mean, shit, any much longer than that, and you could watch Endgame and take your life like easy did.
Hey, I didn't make the movie. Don't yell at me.
I'm not yelling at you, but I mean, it's just it's just trying to look at things from the listener perspective and have fun with it all at the same time.
What do you think, Kingsley, since you also host?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the worst part I don't even have to deal with. I would say, like, the editing. Luckily, my lovely co-host Sin does that. Shout out to Sin. But kind of like also answering it is just the best and the worst is like having to like schedule everything. It's definitely a pleasure talking with all sorts of different people, and I wouldn't say there's anything bad about that other than just worrying if we can get all our schedules in line and actually finding people to talk to. But it's generally a plus.
Right. So Laz asks, we're revisiting the moon in Shadowkeep. What Destiny 1 location that we haven't revisited yet would you like to see in a future expansion or season? Follow up, what location in our galaxy that hasn't been in Destiny that you would like to see in the game? I think I expressed before that I love the Dreadnought, man. I would love to see the Dreadnought again, as unpopular as that may be. Maybe another section of it, or maybe, I don't know, something else. And also, what we haven't visited, I don't know how much you, Kingsley, you are into the lore, but I've posed this with the other two. I think that I would love to go to Fundament, where orcs started.
Yeah.
All the way back when they were like the Krill or something like that.
Yeah.
Ocean planet with dragons and all sorts of craziness. I'm down with that.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Hey, wait a minute. Okay, this is going to be a weird, just throwing it out question kind of thing, but there's that dragon on Titan.
I don't think it's been confirmed. Has it been confirmed?
There's some fucking big thing with scales.
I thought that was on Venus.
No. It's on Titan. If you go to the rig and you look out over the ocean,
okay,
every once in a while you can see it pop up. Plus, there is that worm, the big dragon worm that you can see in that one mission when you go down. It's like it's all glass, and you can kind of see it go by. Bife did a video on it. I'll throw it in the Discord. He did it. It was like 2 years ago when he made it.
I'll have to look at that.
Yeah. I was just curious, though. I'm like, hey, I wonder, because it's a water-covered world like Titan. I mean, could that be Fundament? I don't know. I mean, I'm like into lore. Like, I'm not really that much into lore. I'm like, I got my pinky into it, and that's about it.
I think the Fundament's a different dimension. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, it's not in the Milky Way.
Yeah. For me, Venus is where I want to go next. I love Venus in Destiny 1. One of my favorite planets. Yeah, I'd have to agree with you, man. I've been reading the Book of Sorrows, and yeah, the Fundament would be awesome. Boy, I'm just curious what that would look like.
Yeah,
I concur. I mean, I was thinking Venus, but then I was thinking Dreadnought. I like the Dreadnought overall better, but I don't know that they could really add that much new to the Dreadnought. I mean, I guess they could. It's a huge ship, but I think I'll go back with Venus as my final answer. And as far as a new place, I was laughing at the beginning. I was expecting someone was going to say Uranus, but
well, it could be your anus.
Okay.
For me, I would say. Well, did you have a place you wanted to go, Kingsley?
No. I mean, Fun of It sounds great. I didn't really have that.
Uranus, clearly.
I heard him say it. Clip it.
Hey, you're welcome. So I would agree with everybody else. Venus for a place I'd like to go back to. For me, I would love to go to Jupiter as somewhere new because that's where, I mean, to me, that's where Oryx's big ass fell.
Oh, he did, didn't he?
Yeah.
So I'm sure that his ass is thawed out and he's a little fucking angry.
Yeah.
Or he's rotting away. There's little hive worms coming out of him.
That could happen too.
Well, supposedly he's in the throne world, right? With Morozov.
I suppose, yeah.
Next question, aka Gear Dad. What do you guys think of the upcoming Shadowkeep armor set? I think the IB armor is bae. I think everybody here disagrees with that comment. But I'm kidding. The Hunter IB armor, it's okay. My favorite armor set is the one I get to buy with money. So I'm excited. The Eververse armor. I'm excited about that one.
I second that.
Yeah, I kind of already mentioned. Maybe it wasn't here, but I don't totally love all the new armor sets that are coming out, except for the Chromie Vex one.
Yes.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah,
exactly.
Plasticity one or something, whatever they call it. I think it's called plasticity or something. I don't know.
The one you get on the paid track, basically.
Yes.
Yeah, the paid track. Yep. Yeah. Give me those Titan wings and the arms that have the blades on the bottom. Yeah. You know,
look like a transformer.
I just want to look like Anubis. Hell yeah.
Yeah. You know.
Maddie asks, what do you think about the IB armor quest? So let's take the quest that we have now to get the armor. I hope the new armor isn't tied to that grind again. To be honest, it was kind of a beatdown, but it's one of the few things as a casual that is obtainable, and it's still kind of grindy. So I'm down with doing it again, something similar. I'm good with that.
That's complete and utter ass of a quest, especially if you want to run it on 3 characters.
Yeah, I didn't even end up running it because I didn't want to. I was just wanting to grind for good Swarm of the Raven rolls, so I didn't even really want to go for armor, and I only play on one character, so I don't know. I have mixed feelings about it. I can see why they did a quest to have something else to do. I'm just used to Iron Banner, just things dropping, so I think if I had a slight preference, it would just be not having a quest.
Yeah, my opinion is this. I don't mind. I know where you're coming from, Easy, as far as having something persistent that when the next Iron Banner comes around, you can keep whittling away at it. Just don't make it for each character, please. Can you make it account wide? So when I go through all that hell to get the helmet finally for my Warlock, that I'm also going to get it automatically for my Titan. That's all I ask.
That's never going to happen.
I know. Yeah, you know.
Well, it did with the ornaments. Like, all you had to do is unlock an ornament.
But that was
the ornaments were tied to remember the ornaments were tied to long grindy quests like that, and as soon as you opened it for one, it opened it for all 3 characters.
Yeah, that's true, but
yeah,
but that quest that's a bitch of a quest, dude. I got it done finally on my Warlock after like 3 Iron Banners, and I play a lot of Crucible, and now I'm working on one with my I'm like halfway through on my Hunter one. I'm never even gonna have time to do my Titan one. It's too grindy for just armor. Nah, it's too grindy.
Yeah, I wish I had $1 for every time you all bitched about the grenades.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, it's not fun unless you bitch about it, right? Okay. So.
We wouldn't be a Destiny community member if we didn't bitch about it.
Right.
Where's my Reddit? Where's my Reddit? Okay. There we go.
Okay. AKA Gear Dad again asks, what is the first exotic you ever got? What's the last exotic you ever got? And what's the best exotic you ever got? I'm going to let y'all go first. Y'all are probably more interesting than mine.
Yes, I can go real quick. I mean, if we're talking about first D1, because this is more memorable to me, my first exotic I bought through Xur because I hadn't had any drop yet, and I got the Zalo Supercell. It was for sale. It was a really fun one to get as my first exotic.
That was a good one.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Especially in Nightfalls with Arcburn.
Yeah, it was great in the Nightfall.
I mean, I kind of mained that for a while until I knew any better and got some better weapons altogether, but it was a fun one.
Yeah, chain out like that, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Last exotic would be Anarchy that I got in Scourge. I only got that a couple weeks ago myself, so that was a really nice one to get.
Yay!
And best exotic, either Galahorn in D1 or Outbreak Perfected in D2. I don't know. I guess Outbreak's a little newer, so I'll have to say Outbreak.
I'll go next. So first exotic I got was from Zur, the master there. It was a Suros Regime.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
I remember that.
Yeah, I loved that gun. Last exotic I got was Oath Keepers, I think, from my hunter. Basically the ones where you get to hold your bow longer and that kind of thing. I quickly infused that into something meaningful. And then...
Hey, I currently have that equipped, jerk.
And then my best exotic had to have been the Galahorn that I got in the vault. Just, at that secret chest, dancing for the straight 5 minutes.
You got it, old G. Yeah, see, I got it through the quest later on, but the Iron Galahorn.
See, my answers are similar to yours, but my first exotic was a Suros. I bought it from Zur. Because remember week 1, they had the Galahorn for sale, but nobody had any money to buy it. And then and everyone was like, I'm not buying a rocket launcher. Give me a rifle. And then we find out it's the best damn exotic in Destiny 1. My last exotic was the Anarchy last week with the Guardian Hub community. And my best exotic is going to be Outbreak Perfected, the Destiny 1.
Oh, Outbreak Prime.
Outbreak Prime. Remember the quest you had to go through to get that? And once I got it, I was like, everybody says, it's an easy answer to say the Galahorn, but that thing was so much fun to use. That was my favorite.
So my first exotic I ever got was, I guess, the second week of Destiny 1, and I bought the Dragon's Breath because I thought it looked cool.
Oh, yeah.
And it was fun, but it was like, back then, who knew how to jump and rocket at the same time? I mean, you would just... keep your feet planted and rockets would just fly by your targets as they need.
And then knowing when to release to let the bomb go.
Right. Well, no, that was year 2. The first year 1, you just let it go, and it had the sunspot.
That's
right. The Warlock gloves.
Yeah,
just left this big sunspot.
Yeah, good memory.
The last exotic I got was the Lord of Wolves. I bought it a couple days ago. And favorite exotic, there's 2 for me. One is the Icebreaker. In year 1, like my RNG, I mean, it's still god awful, but it was even worse back then. And that Icebreaker got me through so much. It may not be one of the best, but it's the most memorable. And then my favorite is probably the Warlock Scout Rifle, that when your super gets fully charged.
It's a laylock.
It just went bananas. Man, I hope that comes back.
God, I hope so too.
I hope the Catalyst makes it automatic when your super is full.
Don't tease me.
So sick.
Don't tease me.
God, that gave me wood.
Yeah, I think I got a little bit, and I'm old.
Yeah, we're not cutting that.
Good job.
Okay.
I'll save it for later.
Couple from Scum Death here. I think these are pretty quick go rounds. Do you think it's possible to have a C64 game on vinyl record? Is it still sound? I think what he's saying here is that vinyl music is the best quality sound. Would it be possible to have vinyl record?
I don't know what he was saying.
Well, I read it technically. Yeah, he could have just been fooling around. I read it as like they did make old Commodore 64 things on cassette tapes. Like that was the disc drive.
Wow.
So I was saying, would it be possible to have a record as a disc drive? I'm like, yeah, it's definitely possible. I mean, I don't see that ever happening, but you can store data on any medium. All you need is like ones and zeros or sounds that represent different things. And it can
okay,
work.
I thought he was going for a sound.
He might have. I'm just being too technical with it.
No, I think you're right, Kingsley. I think that's where he's going with it. Is that so? I want to look into this because I don't know. I really thought that question was interesting, and I'm just like, wow. I really want to dive into that and find out.
You used to have punch cards. Even remember, the data was stored on the first computers way back in the day. And
exactly.
So data can be stored in any format. It may not be efficient. You would have to have like a record would have like maybe
the
2 lines
grooves,
of text or something. Who knows? But it can work.
So Scumdeath asks the next one. What's the best boss battle in gaming? I'll make mine quick. The second phase of Ganon on Breath of the Wild. It's not hard, but it is the most beautiful boss battle. It's so incredible. What about y'all?
I'm going old school. Mike Tyson and Super Punch Out.
Oh my goodness,
that was so much fun.
That was hard. I did pass it.
I did eventually after I put $40 in the machine.
Luckily, I had it just through NES.
Nice.
So for me, I'll be honest. I was thinking about this for probably longer than I should have, and then it dawned on me exactly what it was for me: Metal Gear.
Oh yeah,
fighting that big ass robot. Mm-hmm. And just like going like, oh my god, this thing is huge.
Metal Gear, the first one.
Well, Metal Gear Solid. I'll go with that one.
Yeah, good game. Did Kingsley answer?
Yeah. Kingsley.
Oh, Kingsley. Sorry.
Oh yeah. I was talking about the Mike Tyson thing, but I'll just have to go with a Destiny answer, and I really like the Vosik battle in Wrath of the Machine Raid.
Oh, yeah.
You have the TVs you're looking at, and you're running into rooms and throwing
great.
Things and shooting them in different phases, and I really like that encounter.
Yeah,
that encounter is terrible.
Yeah, boy, if you didn't do your job, you'd know real quick who messed up. Everyone would sit around pointing fingers at each other. It wasn't me. I killed that servitor.
I think I got called out in that room so many times.
I can tell you stories. It's really bad.
So the next one, I think we answered most of it, and we'll just make it quick. Gatr, mainly for you. How does it feel to get 2 raid clears in one night? And what was the catchphrase of that night specifically?
Yeah, this is from Sin, right?
Right, from Sin.
The one and only. Thanks a lot, Sin.
Suck it, Hazel!
Oh, wow.
That's what I said.
That is.
Twice.
Skull Reaper asks, what is the scariest nightmare you've experienced? Mine was finding Kurt Cobain's body. This goes into I'll let y'all go. I've got one, but it's I don't know if I'm gonna share it. Y'all go.
It just recurring one as a kid, thinking I'm gonna get trapped from lava from a volcano.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, it scared me as a kid. I had those recurring a lot.
Interesting. Mine is a recurring one that I still have to this day, where Michael Myers is chasing me and I'm hiding underneath a table. Yeah, and there's like a tablecloth over the table too, and all I can see are these feet, and I always wake up.
Oh my god!
I'm just like, fuck that.
That sounds terrible.
I was in a summer camp, and I went into the wrong theater. We went to a theater for summer camp. I went and saw Halloween. Michael Myers. I had nightmares for like half of my childhood where Mike Myers comes out of the darkness.
Mm-hmm.
My dream was he would always come out of the darkness and I would always squint and say, what is that? And then it would come up on me and start chasing me. It was very much like your dream, Hazel. Holy crap.
Yeah.
What are the odds?
AKA Gear Dad asks, what is your first job and what was your weirdest job you ever had? First job. I think I was a bagger at a grocery store.
What was your weirdest job?
I don't know if I've ever really had a weird job. I'm pretty boring.
Mine was also a bagger at Publix here in Florida. And my weirdest job is I was a skating guard that didn't know how to skate very well. And I would be telling all these kids that were whizzing around me, whoa, slow down. I'd blow the whistle, slow down. But they knew I could never catch them. And it would took a year for me to learn how to skate backwards. This back in the roller rink days. I know there used to be these things called roller skates. They had 4 wheels, and you would literally go around a wood deck, and there'd be disco music playing, and everyone would go in a circle around the rink. Well, I was a skating guard. It said slow down, and I couldn't do anything about it. They knew it.
For me, first job I had was a security guard. It was one of those jobs where, I was painfully shy. And my the first position that I had was at, basically in Dayton, Ohio, there was a place called Hera Arena, and there was a concert, and I was in the front, and I was patting down people and giving them a wand and that kind of thing. and there's no place to be shy when you're doing that. So, yep. And then the weirdest thing was, well, probably it's just a security guard posting where I was actually at another concert, and I was in the back, and it was very, very weird and fun back there. And I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, well, Jay, my first job is Disneyland. I know you'll appreciate that. And that would also count as my weirdest job. Weird things would happen all the time. Kind of on a similar tone. Sometimes you'd work. I worked the night shift a lot, and grad nights. That's where all the high schoolers would come to party. Some crazy stuff would happen. We'll just leave it at that. Employees would have to stop people doing certain things.
There you go. Okay, so Drafty asks, when watching Netflix or other streaming services, do you have autoplay turned on or off? I turn that off and fall asleep. I don't want to scan 8 hours of series to see where I left off.
It's where when you watch one episode, it automatically within like 5 seconds will go to the next episode. And I have mine on, but Drafty, I never fall asleep. When I know it's ready to go to bed and I can't pay attention, I just turn it off because I don't want to lose my spot on what I watched.
Yeah, mine automatically. I just thought it did that. I didn't know you could turn that off.
Yeah, you can.
Same here. It's always on.
Yeah.
Okay, Scumdeath asks, do you prefer snooker or pool? I don't know if I've played snooker, but played a lot of pool. Enjoyed pool.
Yeah. So the answer is pool.
Yeah, I used to meet that was when we went to my grandma's for Christmas Eve every year, and he did a pool table, and we sucked at it, but we loved playing pool. It was one thing I always remember from Christmas Eves.
Nice. I love pool. Love it. If I could make a living from it, I would.
You know what snooker is? Do I dare ask? Should I know what that is?
I don't know what it is.
It's a smaller table, isn't it?
I think it's a smaller table, but you also have like the red balls that are out there that you can't hit, I think is how it goes. And you have to hit the other balls outside of those, I believe.
That sounds right. No, that sounds right.
I mean, it's less of a American thing and more of a other, I don't know.
Possibly.
Oh, just pool. I never played snooker.
Yeah, that's what I assumed. Okay. So Scumdeath asks, and I don't know how deep you want to go into this. What's your favorite flower, and has a flower or plant ever meant anything to you? My grandma's roses had a certain scent that I still remember 20 years later after her death, and I have the same rose in my garden now, and it brings me back a lot of childhood memories just through the smell. And I do want to say Agent H shared a very personal story on this channel after this from this question, and I just want to say bravo to you, sir, for putting your stuff out there and trusting that you'll get a decent response from the community. So I thought that was really awesome, man. Favorite flower? I don't have a favorite flower.
Yeah, I don't have one either, but I do want to again also commend like what Scumdeath and Agent H were saying about that. I mean, I understand how like smells can bring back memories. I hear about that all the time, and while I don't have anything like that, I think that's got to be like I don't know what it means to you, but I feel for you, man, and hopefully the smell of a flower can also bring some peace also.
So my favorite flower, I mean, I like daisies because our dog is named Daisy. So it's always been sort of sentimental like that. And then has a flower.
Speak of the devil.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, she's in every episode. It's great. And has any flower or plant meant anything to me? This is kind of an answer for one of Skull's questions later. But when you find somebody special, what I did was with my girlfriend, wife at the time, well now, is I gave her a dozen roses. I took one out, gave that to my mom, and then I put a fake rose in there. And I said, hey, I will love you until the last one dies.
I don't ever want my wife to listen to this.
No pressure. Wow.
You are full of shit, sir. No, I think that's awesome. I don't think like that. I'm just like, flowers, great. Next.
Yeah, he's my gardening brother across the pond. I love gardening. My favorite flower is the gardenia, and I have a rootstock that only my great grandmother I think is even, she's passed a long time now, but I have one gardenia bush in my raised bed garden that I've moved from house to house as I've moved, and I've had it 28 8 years now. And it smells really good. It blooms more than any other varieties out there. So, yeah, thanks for that question, Scum Death. And Agent H, yes, I saw your story too, and thank you for sharing that, man. That was very. I got the feels when you said that, man.
Skull asks, any advice for a guy going through high school and how to treat a special lady?
Yeah, man, just don't stress
Hazel?
about it too much.
Okay. So we'll do. We'll make that a segment for a later episode. Dating tips from Hazel.
There you go.
Yeah. Just be honest with her. You know, that's like one thing that I would definitely say. Don't be too honest. So, you know, don't say exactly what's in your head like I do on here. So, yeah.
Definitely be yourself. Like, and I'm not saying this to like downplay anything. Like, chances are it may not be the person you ultimately end up with. So just be yourself. Don't worry about trying to put on a different persona, because then if that's not the person, then it's all for the better.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. Be yourself, because if you don't be yourself, when you get to know her more, she's going to know more about you, and it's going to come out that you lied about yourself. So be yourself, dude. If she likes you, it'll click, man. It'll just click. Trust me.
True.
So, couple quick ones. You have to talk like Steve Urkel or Kermit the Frog the rest of your life. Which do you choose?
I do that?
I'm staying clear of this one.
Kermit, I guess.
Yeah. Hi-ho. Yeah, Kermit.
Okay, boys.
Am I the only one that picked Urkel?
I'm just more of a Kermit generation. Urkel was a little past my time.
Oh, I did see one question though, or one follow up in there was, you know, does he get the girl?
Oh,
I forget her name from Family Matters, but yeah, but she was hot.
He always gets Miss Piggy.
He always gets that bacon. Okay, so have you ever been arrested? I haven't, because I'm a good boy.
Or does he? Are we supposed to believe that's not true?
I don't know.
I was really wild in college. I'll just say it like that.
So the answer is yes.
We need details, or I call bullshit.
That maybe for another podcast, but yes, I've had many a sleepover in the Denton County Jail.
Oh wow, we got to hear this. Save those stories. We'll use them when we can. I got to hear it though.
All right.
I got to hear this.
I was not wild in college, but I was just dumb, plain stupid. I've done some stupid stuff that I'm lucky I'm not in jail. I'll leave it at that too. I was young and dumb.
I was a pretty good boy. I've never been arrested or even close to it.
It hurts your wrist.
Yeah, I know it hurts your wrists. I never been arrested, but I've been had handcuffs on me and put in the back of a cop car with a buddy of mine. I cried like a baby. I was in high school, or maybe not even high school. I was just with a buddy. We were doing stupid shit, and the cops pulled up on us and was just like, no, you know, I'm calling your parents, you know, we're going to take you down to the station. And he made a big deal out of what we did. And I was a mess. And then nothing ever happened. It was just traumatic.
All right. AK.
Easy's like, I'm the bad boy here. Nice.
No, I don't like
And you would never imagine that today.
I know.
Isn't that weird? He got it all out of his system.
That's why I need details.
I know, exactly.
They're pretty funny now, but not back then.
Yeah. There you go.
Okay, aka Gear Dad. My very first raid, not a layer clear, was D2, was on PS4 thanks to Hazel and Easy, and the help of Drafty, Gruzan, and Desraven. It was the night the DST started, so everyone stayed up till 4 a.m. to carry me through the Leviathan. What's your most epic raid memory from either D1 or D2? Lastly, Kingsley, thank you again for Forsaken on PS4. My heart is yours always.
Thank you, Jay.
Kingsley, you go. What's your favorite raid?
Well, I bet you got a bunch.
I'm sure I have a bunch, but like
A
probably
raid moment, I guess.
Yeah, it would either be my first time because the first raid I ever did was King's Fall because that's what people were doing then. So that was certainly an epic one to do. Seeing orcs at the end and everything. So that was pretty amazing. And then I feel though like most recently would be, I don't know, like maybe first time passing Eater of Worlds. I feel like that was one of the current raids that we kind of did it a lot on our own. We didn't really look up too many guides or have to wait weeks and weeks to get it done. So I remember just being excited when I passed that one. Nothing too crazy, like this is why, but maybe because I raid too much, I can't remember every experience. But yeah, probably I'll have to say that.
For me, it was one that I mentioned, like I think in like episode 0, I think, or episode 1 or something like that, where I was helping Synchromeshi get his flawless raider in D1 on Crota.
Oh yeah, right.
And he ended up having to run like flawless maybe like 7 or 8 times, because then each time we'd make it to like Crota and then something would happen where somebody would join, somebody would leave, something like this. And it was like every time, and like Sync was just hilarious about it. He's like, Hazel, he's like, this is just unreal that you've basically put us in your backpack and carried us through this so many times, and you just keep doing it. So it was just a really cool moment.
I was in a clan before Forsaken, before I even found the Dad's Tales community, called Fake TV Friends. And the reasoning behind that clan was someone's wife would say, "Oh, you're going to play with your fake TV friends again." So we said, "Why not?" We made it a clan. We were very heavy into raiding, very, very close clan. It was just 6 or 7 of us in the clan, and we'd have a lot of nights, a lot of downtime where we only had 5 people and we needed a 6th. So instead of going to LFG and finding someone toxic on there, usually we would do the beta thing, guided games, and we did several guided games for people, and they were always so appreciative. But there was one particularly I remember. It was a young kid, and yes, his mic was loud, and he had a lot of background noise going on. I don't know what the hell he was doing, but we got him through a Leviathan raid, and he was so happy. It's like he won the lottery or something. I mean, it was. I remember putting such a joy on his face. And in fact, one of our clan members, he friended, and unfortunately the poor kid stalked him. Every time he got online, he would immediately jump in the party and say, "Hey, are you raiding again?"
Oh, yeah.
And we finally had to start going invisible and start doing private. It's just amazing how much impact you have when you help someone in a raid. So yeah, that was my favorite moment.
Yeah, there's another one that I thought of actually when you were talking about helping a kid through it. Was Drafty, myself, and a couple other people. We helped Drafty's son through Vault of Glass, and it was his first raid. And the good thing is that we could pretty much put him in our backpack and carry him. And he got Icebreaker, and he screamed, and it was just like the most. I mean, it brought like the smile on my face. That was it just stayed on there for days.
Yeah.
I think mine is just the first time I was the sword bearer for Crota. It was such a great moment. I'm telling you, I went out and I was jumping up and down, and I told my wife, and
you're
she immediately shot it down. Like, who gives a shit? And
Your fake TV friends.
Yeah, my fake TV friends.
Oh my god.
So Chris. 3711 has an in-depth question. We're starting to run out of time here, so we will answer that on the later podcast. And we're going to cook speed run. We've got like 7 left, but they're super quick. Agent H, you're cooking in a restaurant and someone orders chicken well done. How dry do you cook it? I think this is just a chicken well done.
You like
Okay.
Until it stops moving.
Oh, you mean you didn't want it rare?
Yeah.
Skull Reaper asks, how's Gambit? Gambit Prime specifically, in your opinion? Sometimes I enjoy it, and sometimes we get pounded into a pulp, so I can't quite give my stance. I think, for me, if you're playing with people you know, and you're in there just having a good time, it's awesome. But if you're sweaty and you're trying to get something out of it, that's when I think it gets ugly.
I'm so done with all Gambit. I mean, done all the quests. I'd be perfectly happy if I never play another game, and I feel like it may go to the back burner some with Shadowkeep. Who knows? I'd be perfectly happy if it does.
For Gambit, like original Gambit, Gambit Prime.
Oh, I do too. If I had to pick, on that question, if I had to pick one, yeah, but I prefer neither.
Oh, Gambit Prime is so much more fun because you have special rolls and armor you can put on. They're never going to get rid of Gambit Prime because of the fact you get all that armor that gives you special rolls. I love Gambit. I love it. It's a different game. It's a different challenge. And I play PvP, so the invaders don't bother me much. And I usually will go in and invade too. So I might do a segment on Gambit in the future. We'll just leave it at that.
Cool. Burning Wing asks, are Pop-Tarts ravioli?
Haven't we had this question?
I think so. But
only if Fig Newtons are also ravioli.
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh. I think ravioli is a Pop-Tart.
There you go. Reverse psychology. Drafty, is Kingsley going to officially change his gamer tag to Kingsleymac Daddy?
Mm-hmm.
I think there is some history. I'm trying to remember, Drafty. Forgive me if I forget. We might have been in a party once and someone said Mac Daddy, and so maybe that's what he's referencing specifically. But should I change it? I don't know, Drafty. Maybe for you, I will.
Okay, we've got 4 more that are extremely quick. When will we see the Guardian Down podcast roadmap?
Jeez.
So I think that Gatr said he was going to put something together for us.
I did?
Depth. Yeah.
Okay. Where's the show notes?
Yeah. So
we expect that by next week.
Holy shit.
Our roadmap is that we hope everybody shows up.
Yeah.
Every Thursday at 9:00. Okay. Admiral Nips, is a Butterfinger a chocolate bar or a candy bar?
Can I answer this one first?
Yes.
Lana, it is a candy bar, not a chocolate bar.
Hazel?
I hate to be that guy, but I gotta disagree with Gatr. It's a chocolate bar, dude.
And see, I'm confused. You know, I always called it a candy bar growing up, and when I think of a chocolate bar, I think of just a pure, like a Hershey's only chocolate
bar of chocolate. Yeah.
But then again, I can see why people are calling it a chocolate bar. But if I had to pick one, I guess I'll go with candy bar.
Good answer.
That ain't real chocolate.
I mean,
in a Butterfinger.
Not really.
So it's not a chocolate bar. It's a candy bar.
Oh, Lana, you're gonna be so mad at us.
When is AKA Gear Dad going to be on the show? Jay?
You know what?
I don't know, Jay. When are you going to be on the show?
You know what? I'm gonna put a spoiler out. I'm gonna do it. Jay, AKA Gear Dad, is gonna be on the show on October 10th. We're gonna talk about all of the Shadowkeep stuff. We'll be playing it for at least a week, so we'll have a good idea of what it is, and it's gonna be a very special episode. I can't wait.
Aww.
I'm excited.
Yeah. I'm excited too.
This next question is specifically for Hazel.
What?
Grugux asked, my anniversary is coming up. Do you have any gift ideas?
Is this because of the rose thing?
I feel like you had some other romantic BS answer for something before. Like, you have all these thoughtful ideas.
Damn, you raised the bar like that. My original answer was just going to be oral, but...
Now the show is not...
Oh, Lord.
Now it's explicit.
Oh, it's always explicit. Don't you worry.
You know what? I'm surprised, Hazel. I thought you were going to go in the opposite end of the body with that one, but good job, everybody.
Well, now we know what Easy's anniversary gift is.
These are our 2 Twitter questions we had posed this week. Lazarus the Lich, or at Lazarus, he says, at Guardian Downcast, how into the Destiny lore are you guys? Like, do you enjoy deep diving into the various stories, or do you prefer to just learn story from what you play in the game?
I watch a ton of lore videos, like a ton of Bifes. Almost every Bife video I've seen, and the good ones I've seen multiple times.
I really did get into the lore because if you remember in Destiny 1, those damn Grimmer cards are all over the place. There was only no way to put them together to realize what the hell was going on, so I just kind of ignored them. And I would just learn from the game, but ever since I read the first lore book that Destiny put out about the Book of Sorrows, and it talked about the story behind some of the exotic weapons, like the one you hip fire. My mind's gone.
The last word.
The Thorn. The last word in the Thorn. It talks about those. Yeah.
Yeah,
so I've pre-ordered the next one, which talks about the conquered, the Fallen and all the conquered races out there, and I cannot wait to get it.
Yeah, they did a good job with those books.
Mm-hmm.
I like someone doing a video for me. I'm a lazy lore. I appreciate it, but like I start reading the Grimoire cards, I'm like, I don't want too much to think about, and so I'll just watch it by video or something. But I do appreciate it.
Yeah. My biggest hurdle with lore is I don't know where in the hell to start. I mean, I'll read a book from cover to cover, like whatever it is, but with lore, it's like you don't know where in the hell you're starting. It's like, you read about somebody named Rezel Azir or whoever the fuck he is, and it's just like, I don't know who this guy is. Okay, he seems okay, but it's like I need like a starting point. And that's one reason why I wish that like Bungie would just do books regarding like everything, like tell stories, so that way I could read them and just go cover to cover and then move on and learn my lore that way.
The biography of Oryx.
It's super interesting.
Maybe. From a little pup.
You know what, Hazel? I'm going to send you a Bife video where right before D2 dropped, he started it from like the beginning of time. He started us going to Mars, like our generation or whatever, going to Mars, and from there it's excellent. Like could you ties a lot of it.
Could you post that in the Discord, because I like to see it again too?
Yeah, I'll post that.
Thank you.
I'll post that. Yeah.
Okay, last question of the night. This is from GSR's only intern, parentheses, possibly swapping positions, at GSR intern. At Guarding Down Cast, are you all looking to add a new intern to your staff? I feel like at Lazarus is doing some kind of evil science experiment on me, where he actually acts nice. I didn't sign up for this. I shouldn't have to live with this emotional torture. GSR intern strikes again. I don't think we even know who this guy is. Still a mystery. I thought I knew last couple episodes ago, but apparently I'm wrong. What do you guys think?
Sounds like he needs help.
Yeah, he sounds like he needs help. We need to, maybe rescue him or something. I mean, I don't know what the hell we'd make him do, but
just don't mention Dadbot anymore, please. Jeez, I don't want him to show up again. Yeah. Holy crap. That's it, guys. That's it. Thanks, guys, for submitting all the questions. I appreciate the candid answers, everybody. And if we didn't get to your question this week, we will be the first thing to answer next week when we have our next episode. So thank you.
Delightful!
All right, guys. It is we're wrapping up the show here, and it's time for our weekly songs that we're going to add to our Guarding Down playlist. It's just a little sprinkling of what the three of us and our guest, of course, like to listen to. And we invite you to listen to it as well. Just search for Guardian Down Cast playlist on Spotify. Kingsley, since you're a guest of honor, you're up first.
Yeah, thanks. Well, growing up in Southern California in the 90s in my high school year, ska was very, very popular there. I'm sure it was in other areas too. And so I just wanted to do some throwback type stuff. Reggae was popular too. And anything from like ska punk, ska pop, ska rock. And I would say my favorite band of all time is Real Big Fish, but lately I've been listening to Less Than Jake again. So I decided one of my first pick is Less Than Jake, The Science of Selling Yourself Short. This is a great song. It has horns in it, instrumental part that I love about ska. It has the good beat, and it has a really good bass line too. Shout out to Sin, slapping that bass. So check out that song for sure. And then my other song, 311, that great group. They've been around forever. Well, I think one of the first concerts I ever went to also as a teenager. And Speakeasy is a song that I really like. Kind of that laid back Jamaican feel. It has steel drums in it. I actually played some steel drums in high school for a little bit, and a really fun song. So another one that I added.
Very nice. Who's next?
Yeah, I'll go. All right. So one of those nice, awesome parenting moments is when you introduce your child to a new song that you really love, and they actually like it. So my 4-year-old, she keeps playing Under the Bridge by Red Hot Chili Peppers over and over again. So yeah, that's one of my songs.
Mm-hmm.
And then my second song is in response to Drafty and his question about me asking, have I ever sat on my balls yet? No, I have not yet. Although I do have Big Balls by AC/DC on my playlist.
Nice touch.
So I'll go next. My first one is there's actually Coheed and Cambria came out with a new album that is actually pretty good. It's not quite as heavy as some of their old stuff, but I didn't want to put anything off the album because I'm not sold on anything as something that really, really grabs me. But they do on their Dissension album called Number City, and it's not really heavy either, but there's a lot of horns and percussion in this album, which is crazy because it's Coheed and Cambria, but it is so good. And then Kingsleymac brought up 311. I absolutely love and adore 311, so I'm going to throw another one in the hat from their Grassroots album. That's a real chill song. It's called 1, 2, 3.
Yep, it's a good one.
I just got to mention, you guys have given me a new appreciation for all kinds of music. The picks you guys have had over the past few weeks, or I guess month now, is just opened my eyes to all kinds of new music. I just wanted to thank you guys for such great picks. I thought my taste was very eclectic, and you guys have definitely proven that wrong. Really great picks. I mean, I would have never known about Baroness. I love that group now. That's all I listen to.
Do you like that album?
My wife was listening to it. She's getting into it too. And we're kind of alternative rock people. But the first song I wanted to mention was my first exposure to hip hop and rap, and that was "What It's Like" by Everlast. That was nice. That whole album. You could just play the whole album, and it's just a great album. My other pick is more of a newer pick. It's called "Bottom of the Deep Blue Sea" by Missio. I don't know if you guys have heard stuff by Missio. Really dark group, but it's kind of alt rock pop, but it's kind of has a dark feel to it. I love their music. It's very good. It's a lot like Muse. If you like Muse, it's kind of like them.
Yeah.
So, well, that's it, guys. I think we're at the end of our podcast. If you have the chance, I just wanted to give a shout out to one of our new Twitter followers at Larman Kentucky. If you do see him on the Twitter sphere, please give him a follow. Kinsley, I just want to thank you for coming on, man. It's been a real treat. Real professional, dude. Unlike what I'm doing right now. But so I'm going to open up to you. Where can everybody find you?
Well, you can actually find me as Kingsleymac. Actually, so I'm still MC Kingsley on Twitter because Kingsleymac was taken from some schmo that isn't doing anything. It's an account.
Gotcha.
So Twitter, I am MC Kingsley, but everywhere else, PlayStation and Twitch, I am Kingsleymac. You can find me as that. And you can find our show, The Guardian Hub, through our website, theguardianhub.com, or on Twitter as The Guardian Hub.
Very nice.
You can find me, this is easy, you can find me on Xbox at EasyPooty. You can find me on PlayStation at BDGO210. And you can find me on the Twitter at SOVA22.
You can find me on the Twitter at Todd the Gator. You can also find me on YouTube, Steam, and PS4 as Gatr, Gatr, underscores in between, and Gator Space GDC on Xbox. Please send me friend requests there because I'm a newbie there. I need some friends. You can also find us on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Podbean, Stitcher, and anywhere you get your podcast. And soon we'll be doing some streaming, like I said, to our Guardian Downcast YouTube channel. And Hazel, close it out for the night.
No pressure, right? So, Hazelnut. Pretty much I'm Hazelnut everywhere. HAZELNT, Xbox, PlayStation, and the Hazelnut on Twitter.
Excellent.
The Twitter, as Gatr says.
Excellent. We also have a Discord as well. Just search for Guardian Downcast, and I will post a permanent link in the show notes as well. Thank you all so very much for listening, and later, Guardian.
Have a good one, guys.
Goodbye.
So we stayed up till 1 o'clock, pounding them out.
I cried like a baby.
All right, Hazel, what do you got for us this week?
All right, so this week from the Bungie news desk, we've got a lot of nudes.
Whoa. Nudes. What are you talking about, Hazel?
Oh, shit, I'm not at my desk. I'm at Easy's desk. I'll be right there.
All right. I wanted to just thank you, McKin.
Do not cut that. Well, this is some amateur bullshit.